Which random athletes?
We here now. Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yeah. First of all, welcome back to the show. This is episode 48.
47.
No, it's 48, bro.
Last episode was 46.
No, last episode was 47.
No, it wasn't.
You want to bet money?
I'm looking it up right now.
All right, cool.
Oh wow, you're right.
Oh
shit, you're
actually,
right.
wait, yeah. We gotta talk about money on later on this episode. You know what I'm talking about, E.
All right, yo. First of all, yeah.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory when we get to it, my brother.
This is episode 48. We are gonna be talking about Forex niggas. That's what y'all gonna be talking about.
No. I know what E talk. E should know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, this is episode 48. Can I introduce you?
Once we get to it, I think I'm gonna get on board. I think once we get to it, I'm gonna get on board because my mind is drawing a blank.
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce it this week. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Over the Food Podcast. Is one half of the Over the Food Podcast, Edsel 40 ounce live from the 104.53. With my lovely host introduce himself.
Yeah, welcome. It's great to be back. I'm drawing a blank right now. Yeah, it's been a week. You know, this is the week of the third greatest black man, you know, Martin Luther King. You know, yeah, he ranked number 3, not number 1. It's a lot going on. It's been the last 48 hours of probably everyone's life has been like the most hilarious. Can y'all stop doing this Bernie Sanders shit? Because I don't think it's funny. I really don't think it's that funny. And shout out to Bernie for getting that motherfucking bag. Create that sweater. Get your profits. Niggas like Tory Lane. I mean, I don't want to quote him. Some niggas make memes, some niggas make money. But hey, Bernie out here getting to that bag. Happy to have this gentleman here.
With our lovely
definitely a pioneer of
yes, sir.
The research. I don't want to say resurgence. Definitely a pioneer of the new age. New age sounds kind of whack too, but I don't want to say resurgence because I don't think it ever went anywhere. But someone that's been putting in the work, keeping Fitteds alive, even though people are not like giving him his praise.
The true leader of the Nation of Islam.
Oh my God, that's big shoes to fill. That's big shoes to fill, man. Yeah. I can't even front.
I'm sorry, brother, but you.
1/4 of the Nation of Islam group chat. With our audience, give a big round of applause to our lovely guest, Rios.
Welcome
back.
Yo,
what up? What's good, man? Yo, thanks for having me back onto the show again, man. For real. Yo, I just want to say shout out the 4th and 13th crew. You already know. Shout out my guy Jay Bobby. You already know the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
we gotta get both of y'all on the show.
Oh, nah, for sure.
We should get both podcasts together one day.
Oh, yo, no, we gotta do. We gotta do like a super slimy collab type ordeal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's gonna come. That's coming soon. That's coming real soon. That's coming real soon.
Normally January is the most boring month, but I think it's probably the most entertaining January. Like probably
so far.
Yeah, January's trash, bro. Any nigga that ever said they like January cheats on their wife. And that's not the way you're supposed to play a hero.
That's crazy.
Trying to be a good family man. Shout out to the Boot Bucks kid. No, my son Jeezy Obama said, "Yo, I told all my hoes I'm trying to be a better man," and I felt that line because we all about progressive now.
That's facts. That's facts.
Don't let that go over your head. But yeah, where do we start?
I think we should start off by giving a huge congratulations to one of our brothers, another part of our Nation of Islam chat, Brint Benson, and his lovely wife Sadia. Oh man,
Yo,
congratulations!
congratulations, Brint, dog, for real,
Man,
man.
finally tied the knot.
Yo. I mean, we attended the wedding virtually.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
my first wedding in my 20s.
We was out here in our suits and ties.
Facts.
Suits and ties and fitteds.
Yeah, I don't know Nike Tech.
Facts.
I made sure I wore Nike Tech when I came back from the COVID testing site, just to feel like
I know
I'm suited up.
I figured, you know, because it's Brent's wedding, so I figured he would want me to show up in a fitted in a baseball jersey. So I wore that to the wedding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a good vibe, you know. What you wear to the wedding, E?
Me, I wore a pristine limited edition Hanes white tee with a black tie that was dipped in the blood of Jesus and was sewed together. It was sewed together by 3 blonde nuns and brought to me by the lovely Nia Long in a cloud.
Yeah,
brought with white doves. You know, I had to only wear the finest of garments to attend the wedding of our brother.
Yo, that's facts, man. It was I want to say, that was beautiful, man. Like watching that. I ain't gonna lie, like I did cry because
I cried too, bro.
I did because
my mom came in the room and she saw that I was watching and she was like, that's a good looking guy. And I was like, damn, you want him to be your son now? That was my mom. I think Brent just took my mom, man. It's crazy.
Nah, it was funny. Like my parents are working from home, so like they're in their own corridors, you know, working. And then I'm just like, then they just hear they just hear like, you know, like wedding bells on the TV, and I'm like crying and clapping and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, yo, my friend is getting married right now. This is a big deal. Like,
I will say,
he's for me personally, he's not the first one of like out of my friends from like high school to like now to get married, but like Brent is so like close to us, you know what I'm saying? Like so it's just like it hit different, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it really hit different to see like our boy get married, man. And he looked sharp, my guy.
But that's
sex symbol. You know what I'm saying? My guy was looking real good
here, man.
Yo, for real. First of all, let's talk about the fade he had, bro. The corners.
That man Barber.
Bro,
that man Barber.
The only person in the world that could get to those corners is Edward Scissorhands, bro. It's the only person.
Yo, I felt like what happened? I felt like Brent put a gun to his barber. So like, yo, you better not.
He's like, yo, you better not fuck this shit up, nigga.
Today's not
my wedding day,
Today's not the fucking day, man. I think you just gotta tell. I mean, we all love our barbers. We with our barbers for a certain reason. But I feel like sometimes you just gotta tell your barber, like, listen, I got an interview. I'm going on vacation. You gotta let them know so that they take their time. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if somebody's coming after me, they're gonna have to hold the fuck on. You taking a whole hour on this chair, nigga.
Yeah, I won't forget. I will like the last major event like I really like had was my college graduation, and my barber knew I was graduating college, so he goes, "Yo, I'll cut your hair for free just because you're graduating college." But yo, like what he did for me was so special. Like he literally closed the shop and gave me like he closed the shop for me, and like he was like, "Yo, like I'm gonna cut your hair in private, and I'm gonna give you the whole steam treatment, everything." So like that was beautiful, man. That's like ill. So I understand how Brent feels about that. So like it was great, man. But congratulations once again to Brent,
brother,
and his beautiful wife Sadia. You know what I'm saying? Congrats.
That's a beautiful couple.
Give it up for love, man. Give it up for love, man.
Yo, just know, and when I edit this video, I'm gonna add in a round of applause and some confetti and shit, man. I'm gonna make this shit look nice. We need Jagged Edge playing in the background too. We just need that instrumental in the background.
I'm
gonna do that. I got you.
This part.
I got you. I will definitely do that.
Yo, when I watched that shit, I was like literally just sitting on my gaming chair, and I'm like, this is not the first friend of mine that like got married, but this is definitely someone that I speak to on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Got married. So it was like a little different for me because like, you know, for the most part, most of us, like our parents are still together. So it's like we're not
nice.
marriage
Must
or
be
anything.
nice.
Oh my god,
Must be
my
nice.
man.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yo, you should have had a jump shot, bro. You could have been in the NBA. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah,
yeah,
but
it just felt different. And like it didn't feel different because not like different, like yo, people are getting mad. It just for the first time in my life, I could look at someone that comes from like neighbor like the same area as me, and like is like I like I said, speak to on a day-to-day basis that are it's
Yeah.
kind of not. And he's doing it with someone that he actually loves. Because like some people actually marry, like they actually like quote unquote they get married to like someone that they quote unquote love, but they're not in love with them. Like you can love someone and not be in love with them. And
Yeah.
like I seen Brent a couple times in public with his now wife, and like I generally you can feel like when somebody real like is in love with that person. So like again, man, I don't want to cry because like I dead like I dead.
Yeah, I know, man.
Cry. And I don't cry, bro. I really don't cry. So like it was like a rare thing. Like the tears were just coming down as I was watching it because I'm like, this is like I mean, I don't know what the future holds for me, but I'm like, yo, maybe one day this could be the thing. But
I will say for me, it was very special because I mean, I've been to weddings before, but it's never been people that I know. It's always been like I just go with my mom and shit. You know, there's somebody that I know, somebody I consider a brother. So for me, this was special. I hate that it was during COVID.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know,
yeah.
But I felt like I was there. Like,
it felt like I was there. Yeah,
they made it feel special. They didn't have to do a live stream.
Yeah,
you know, they could have kept it private within their family. But I'm glad that they made sure that the people that they consider family and friends were able to be part of their special day. So
right, shout out, for real, man. Like it was very special for like to see that for me because like you know. Like me, I'm like very like anti-marriage. I was, you know what I'm saying, like, why do you need white man's paperwork?
Yeah.
You feel me?
I think that was my thing too.
Like, but like the thing is, it's just like, you know what I'm saying, like you said before, like that's our brother, you feel me? So like it hit different and like it changed my whole perspective on marriage. Like I want I want to get married, bro. Like that did it for me. You know what I'm saying?
You want to get married to the right person.
If I gotta get
married, I want to get married to the right person, of course. But like the thing is, like I just want that. I just like want that. Inner peace. Yeah, like I just want that. So that's what it did for me, you know. So
yeah,
it was beautiful. It was a beautiful to say the absolute least, man. You know,
in order to get smooth and beautiful shining skin that they had, I gotta get married. I'm doing it.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Yo,
honestly, bro,
the skin was glowing, radiant.
I've never seen people shine that much in a video, bro.
Yo, bro, it was so real that like I have a smart TV and it's like in 4K. That shit went no cap. That shit went into 8K like at a point in the video. Like, it never said 8K. No, all jokes aside.
And you saw the pearly whites in that picture I sent on
the
chat,
like bro, like I was like,
man,
bro, I had never seen smiles like that in my life. Never,
bro. Like, yeah, man.
Never.
We can talk about this all
day, man.
But in conclusion, again,
enjoy
from the 4th and the 13th, and from the Over the Food podcast. Congratulations,
brother
Brint.
Facts, man. Yo, brother Brent, we love you, brother. We love you, man. Congratulations once again, man.
Yo, Edsel, before we get to like a serious topic, the other night, right? I made a little joke on the CA chat, right? It was innocent, and like everyone was laughing about it. And
damn, I wish I was in that room.
I heard our good brother Rios by saying he has a thing for Doja Cat, and I said it publicly.
By original feet.
Because it's over 15 people in there. So I would like to say, before we get to all our serious topic, I want to apologize to Rios about Doja Cat. Because I knew
listen. I ain't gonna lie, nah.
I know you're not tight. But
no, of course, no. I said you listen. I understood where you came from with that. You know what I'm saying? That was funny. Shout out Kathy, man. Yo. Because Kathy said she could see me dating Sarah J, bro. And I'm like, but the thing is, but Kathy's my home. But the thing is, me and Kathy have a special relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like she's my home girl. You feel me? Like we dead ass just cut jokes on each other all the time, right? So she knows the shit that the shit that I like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, she knows because she knows I be when the Sarah J jokes hit the timeline on Twitter, bro. I'm like, you know,
in there.
what's the Stanley from The Office meme when he takes the papers up and runs?
Yeah,
That's me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like so the fact that she knows that, and then she said that, it just made it just set the room on fire.
Damn,
but it was
man,
funny though, you know.
Y'all should have pinged me to that room, man.
Yeah, nah, it was funny, man. Nah, that was a fun room. But it was funny though. I told her,
nah.
But I did her dirty too. I said her and Beanie Siegel should be a couple.
That's
so
crazy.
So it evens out.
Nasty.
So shout out Kathy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all love too. I love you, baby girl. You feel me,
bro? I said in that room that I would take Young Miami to last lap because she's not that educatedly smart. So I know like I could get the one up. And this nigga Rios is like, so you gonna be upstairs or downstairs?
Hey,
yo, upstairs,
you know, listen, upstairs is a different animal. Listen, I done been upstairs at last lap a couple times, man, and I've been like, what the fuck is going on,
man? I remember when my job, we had like maybe 2 weeks into opening, we had like a grand opening party, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after the store party, we went to an after party, which got shut down because Pop Smoke came to perform. They shut that down. He couldn't even get in. So the actual after happened at last lap. We went to the second floor. Man, time moved slow in there. Time moved real slow in there, man.
Yo.
Man, I went to last lap 2 times, bro. And I don't know what happened.
We was in there with Nigel Sylvester, and I seen him pull some baddie. Bro, I was like, nah, time really moved different in here, man.
Yo, I possibly have like the funniest last lap story of all time. So like, this was summer 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my homegirl. I'm not gonna say who. You might have seen her on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? She's an OnlyFans legend. That's all I'm gonna say. She's an OnlyFans legend.
I gotta search through your followers, man.
Yeah, she an OnlyFans legend, man.
You trying to kick it tonight,
so she was
on a slip a few dollars.
So she was in town, right? So I'm like, yo, link me up. Let's go to last lap again. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's link up there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So, luckily, I know one of the dudes who works there. So I'm like, yo, just give me like 4 seats because you can't get a table at last lap. People forget that. So you have to get seats. So I said, yo, put 4 seats aside for me, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I paid for the seats, and you know it was crazy. Solange ends up coming to the spot, right? So but like the thing is, like she was with her dance crew, whatever. I think they had like a video shoot right after the shit, whatever. So like we ended up meeting Solange, and Solange was in like our area upstairs and stuff, right? So, and if you've been upstairs at last lap, I'm not gonna say what goes down upstairs because it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit be going on upstairs. So it was a vibe up there, you know what I'm saying? Like
the second floor of Last Lap is the real life version of it. It goes down in the DM. It's the actual manifestation.
And you know, like a lot of you know, a lot of head down, head up action. You know what I'm saying? If you know what that means, you know what I'm saying. So a lot of that was flying in the air too upstairs. A lot of that be flying upstairs, you know. So I ain't gonna say, you know what I'm saying, like shit like that was going down, but yeah, we was all partaking in that activity upstairs. And I just want to say, I just want to say, shout out Solange, man, because like
she was being a good sport.
Bro, it was funny too, because like after we both did that, you know what I'm saying, like it was crazy. We did it like simultaneously, right? So we went to go get a drink, and then she's side by side by me, and then I look at her and I'm like, I just put my hand on my heart and I just go, and then me and her just go, So I just want to say shout out, and then but then like the thing is too, like she took my soul when she smiled at me, man. It made
Is her skin
bro,
is the skin as radiant in person as it is in photos?
Listen, man. Listen.
Mm.
She was glowing in the dark, bro.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
she
a
looked
woman.
like
That's
like like
mm-hmm.
like it looked like
I know.
doves were coming out of the fucking sky. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Not
saw
cranes?
rainbow. You saw rainbows. Yeah, cranes too. You feel me? You saw rainbows. You saw rainbows coming up. You know what I'm saying? And it was beautiful, man. Like she took my soul, and like that shit changed my life, man. So I just want to say shout out Solange for that casual, dilated pupils, eye contact that we had together at Last Lap, man. So I love you forever and ever, man.
This is a no Solange slander zone.
No Solange slander zone, man. So I love you, baby girl. You feel me? So wow, just want to say that's Last Lap. That's what it is. You feel me? So I can't. But honestly, but you know when COVID dies down, I just want to say, guys, I got the Rona. You feel me? That breaking announcement, I got the Rona. You know, well, I had it for a week, but you know, got the shit. I just want to say, you know, what I'm saying.
I wanted to ask you. I didn't want to.
What's good?
Here, I wanted like.
No, go ahead. Because I feel like now's the time. We gotta be like informative. We gotta be very transparent. You know what I'm saying when it comes to like the COVID virus and stuff like that. So yeah,
because the reason, like, I mean, we had conversations about it like off air and everything, but I was just asking, like, because I was watching y'all, like you and J Bobby's like 4th and 13 last episode, and I didn't watch, like, I watched that viral clip of like you and J Bobby, like, what the fuck are you talking about face? But like watching that clip, it made me start thinking like even because you didn't have all the symptoms, right? Like you just like lost smell and shit, right?
All right. So the symptoms I had was I lost my smell, my taste. I'm still getting that. I'm still like I'm still steadily getting that back. Like today, I ate a slice of pizza and I was able to like taste the cheese and pepperoni in the pizza a little bit. So my taste buds are slowly coming back.
Yeah.
And my smell is too at some point, and my smell is too steadily day by day. But like the first couple days I had the chills. I was very fatigued. What else? Like I had body aches. So like, yeah, man, like this shit is real, bro. Like this shit is real. And like I felt like people, like especially now, like, you know, like the infection rate is close to 60% now, I believe.
Yeah.
So like the chances of people get like everyone's gonna get COVID at some point or some variation of COVID.
Yeah, that's just the scary part too.
So that's what it's trending towards right now. But I just think that, like, you know, especially now in like today's climate, like we just have to be more aware of our surroundings and stuff like that, and like what we and like honestly just we have to be more aware of our surroundings, and like we just can't take things for granted, you know, because like me, I'm able to beat COVID, you know what I'm saying? Like not beat it, like my body is like, you know, responding to it well, but
not everyone else is like that.
But not 400,000 Americans, you know what I'm saying? So like it's a matter of, you know, us trying to, you know, come together as a people and be like, all right, listen, these are the sacrifices that we have to make in order for us to, like, you know, combat the virus and bring it down to a level where it's, you know, sustainable. That's the issue at hand. So like when people, so my thing is when people question like the COVID vaccine and stuff like that, it's like, dude, you know, like these are the things that we need in order for us to be free. You know what I'm saying? Like we need that vaccine. So like I understand, you know, the whole anti-vax movement. I believe, like, I'm not a flu shot person. I believe, like, you know, getting the flu is better for you than actually, you know, injecting it, because you get sick for a couple days and then after that you get better. But like COVID is not the same as the flu. Like it's just not the same as the flu. So like there's a reason why like we need this virus, because it's not like flu. It's not like the flu where, like, you know, like you just get it and then that's it. Like there's silent carriers of COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have no symptoms and still have COVID. So like that's the thing that, you know, gets lost in all of this is like, the silent carriers. So like when you have people who question the vaccine, it's like, yo, like there's a reason why we need this vaccine. So my theory is like, I think people are gonna like eventually budge and take it once other countries aren't gonna let us in unless we have the vaccine. And number
True.
two, you can't go to work without taking the COVID vaccine.
I think,
And then
I was about to say that because I was thinking about that today when I went to the testing site, because I'm like, yo, these tests can only do so much. Like you can keep getting tested, it comes back negative, but that it could be that one time you get tested, it comes back negative, and it just like ramps up in your like wherever like in your body, like you said, you just having aches in your body.
Right, and the thing is too, it's airborne.
Yeah, so you never know.
Yeah, so like the thing is, it's like, all right, it's like we need this vaccine, and I'm not eligible to take it now. I'll be me, I think I skipped the line. I'll be eligible to take it probably in the fall because I had COVID. So I'll probably be phase 3 of the COVID vaccine. Whereas like, like I'm happy that my parents can take it before I can, because my parents are city, my parents are my parents, my father's a city worker and my mother's a government worker. So like they're able to like, do these things. So I'm just excited that, like they're able to get the vaccine and like before I get it. So it's the sacrifice that they're doing on for humanity, So like it's just great. It's just great.
Yeah, I think my dad is gonna be able to take it because he works with transit. So like he deals with that shit day in and day out, just like all of us. But it's like his job is like
it's more amplified.
Yeah, it's more like
amplified.
He has to literally like keep his head on a swivel, like he can't stay in close contact with anyone. So it's like sometimes I think about that because I'm like, yo, like I work and like I see like up to like at least 600 niggas a day, probably at most. Like just walking my job day to day. So I could only imagine how many people take the public transportation, and my pops have to see them. And it's 9 million niggas on this island called New York City. So just I think about that a lot. I don't try to like stress myself out, but it's like this. It's not getting. I mean, it's not something that we can fix overnight. I don't think it's gonna get fixed this year either. I mean, I would love for it, but we gotta live.
I mean, according to Dr. Fauci, I've been keeping up with the. No, but according to Dr. Fauci, he said if we get 75 to 80% of the people vaccinated in this country, then we could return to some form of normalcy.
Honestly, bro.
I'm
starting to think this is gonna be the new norm, bro.
Like, but like I said, it all depends. But it all depends on our fate. It literally depends on anti-vaxxers,
Yeah.
So like I feel like the government at some point is going to give people an ultimatum, like, listen, if you don't have this vaccine, you can't travel out the country, or you can't go to work, and then people will take the vaccine.
Yeah.
So I feel like as soon as that ultimatum comes out, then people will actually, budge and take the vaccine.
Or if Jeff Bezos will take it first.
No, but I hope they give him COVID though. Like I hope they give him the actual COVID. Like, I hope like he gets that shit. Yeah, like I mean, listen. Dave Chappelle, listen.
I know this is the Jeff Bezos slander account.
It is.
Man, I'm already dealt with this shit on a personal level in 2 different ways because I had to quarantine at the start of the year. I had to quarantine for my birthday. Although I wasn't gonna do anything because I got together with like 4 of my other friends for one of my mans, a little surprise celebration type thing. It was only 5 of us, but another one of my mans, a family member of his came down with COVID. So, we all had to quarantine the day after, get tested and all that. Luckily, everybody else came back negative. My man's unfortunately came out positive because of course that is a family member that he lives with. But he was asymptomatic. I'm glad that his family member is doing so much better now. Glad that they're still here. Had to quarantine for that time, just the waiting to know if you're your test results was a pain in the ass. It was scary as fuck, bro. Like you just don't know, because the thing is that, you know, it's one thing to be sick, but it is one thing to be a silent carrier. You know, like I don't want to spread that shit to nobody. You know, if I gotta stay home 2 weeks, a month, whatever the fuck it is, I'll do it. You know, I mean, I'm already a homebody as it is, but also my grandmother on my dad's side, my dad caught it, and then it spread to my grandmother. So she was in the hospital. She's had a whole bunch of different complications, but she's pulling through. She's the strongest 90-year-old I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
But she's not at the hospital yet. She's been in the hospital, I think, for 2 weeks now. But just because she's already had oxygen level problems for a while now, but they're just trying to make sure that before she gets out, that, you know, she's up to par in terms of oxygen level. So, you know, grandma pulling through, you know, and this just tells me, like, man, a lot of people need to take this shit a little bit more serious. Whether, you know, when I see like anti-mask, like, bro, just wear the mask, go to the store, and then take it off when you get out. That's it. You know, I don't care if you're not wearing it on the streets. Just when you go into closed spaces, just put it on for 5-10 minutes, half an hour, and then just get the fuck out. Like, stop fighting people.
I brought that up. The last time I was at work, it was some cat. Like, he was like at my job, and like he came up to me and he's like, "Yo, can I get this?" And I just didn't say anything to him. So I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. He's like, "Yo."
Why did y'all? How did he get in there without a mask?
How did he get in without a mask?
No, he got in with the mask, but he took it down. So I'm looking at him like person to person, and I'm looking at dude. I'm like, what are you asking me? He's like, "Yo, can I get it?" I said, "Yo, bro, you don't have a mask on. Like, why? What is so difficult to put on a mask in a building? Like, it's not that serious, bro." I'm like.
And my thing is like, why are you like? The same way you have rules in your own crib, the same way you don't want me to step into your crib without shoes, don't walk into my work establishment without a mask. Like, it's our policy until further notice, until this shit is under control. That's the policy. The same way you got rules in your crib, man. Just wear a fucking mask. And that's
the thing that made me laugh is
it, man.
Said, "Yo, I don't have the Rona, so why are you worried?" I was like, "Bro," I was like,
"You don't know that."
I was like, "You don't know that." I was like, that proves nothing because you can get it anywhere. I was like, yeah. So like, yeah, like it's just like, and it's just like people sometimes just feel like I don't want to say I don't like conspiracy theory because people have the right to think and feel how they want. I just don't like when people say shit like it's a man-made virus and like you don't take it serious until shit hits home. Like
shit, even
told me that. Like, yeah,
man-made or not, motherfuckers are dying.
Yeah, like
exactly.
She's like, yeah, I think it's a man-made virus, and I was like, what you think a man is gonna really send a laboratory? Like, yeah, I'm gonna make this shit and kill half of the population. Like, you really like I know it's fucked up people in the world, but you really think someone really has the intuition? Yo, I'm gonna make this shit. I'm gonna stir it up. I'm gonna make it in China, and then I'm gonna stir it up. It's like this, and it's like me and Rios always say, stick to what you know. Stick to what
you know, for real. Like, don't talk about what you don't know.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna talk about some shit I don't know. Like, this shit is still new to me. Like yeah, we had SARS, Ebola, and all that, but
you know what's funny? You know what's funny when people be like, "Oh, but the flu kills more people," and I'm like, "Well, we have vaccinations. The flu's been around forever. We've made vaccinations or remedies for Ebola, SARS, the flu. We don't have one for COVID yet."
Right, and the thing is too, like,
the issue.
Right, and the thing is with like, oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
And just to end it off, we did go through a H1N1 pandemic. Well, it was an epidemic before. It never turned to a pandemic, but it was an epidemic. And we also did have an Ebola pandemic. Don't forget that.
Right.
You couldn't like people were afraid to walk around the entire vicinity of Mount Sinai because of that shit.
You're right.
So, come on, man-made or not, motherfuckers are dying.
Exactly. And the thing is too, like, all right, like you said, like vaccines and stuff, right? Like we had a measles outbreak last year, right? You want to know why we didn't get the measles? We got a vaccine for the measles.
As a
we
kid,
got that. Yep. So like, yeah, vaccines work, and like they are important to like our body. You know what I'm saying? Like we actually need those things in order for us to live. That's part of evolution. It's part of, you know what I'm saying, like eugenics and Darwinism and stuff like that. I feel like people just forget the theory that, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, like your body sometimes, like, it just doesn't have the right, like the white blood cells in our body, it just can't fight certain shit off without a little bit of extra help, or without, you know what I'm saying, like, or without a placebo to, you know what I'm saying, recognize these things in our body. So when we get it, you know what I'm saying, just, you know, God forbid, our body knows what to do and how to and our body knows how to respond. So I just feel that people are being so naive and stuff like that. So like my thing is too, like, even when people are like going out to like other countries and stuff like that too, like, I mean, granted, travel shaming is whack and stuff like that. I don't agree. I'm kind of on both sides of it. You know what I'm saying?
If you're gonna travel, be safe. Just be
right.
safe.
If you're gonna travel, be safe, but also keep in mind where you're going to. You know what I'm saying? Like some places like Tulum and like Jamaica and Puerto Rico and like the DR and stuff like that, like
Bali.
Those places, Bali. We'll talk about that later.
You know what I'm talking about.
Whoa, what happened in Bali?
Me and you will break that down.
We're gonna get into it.
Me and you will break that down for you. But like, they don't have the healthcare system that we have, and like they don't have the deliverance of healthcare that we have. You know what I'm saying, in this country. So keep in mind that, like, you know what I'm saying, like when you go to these places like Tulum and DR and, you know, Puerto Rico, they don't have the certain deliverance of care that we have. So keep that in mind when you're traveling. Not to say that, you know, live your life. I believe that people deserve some form of normalcy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a firm believer in this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me, like I think I call COVID just going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me trying to get back to my sense of normalcy in some fashion. So it's a matter of, when you travel, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep in mind where you go that, you know, like maybe the healthcare system isn't as good as it is here. So that's all. That's all.
Yeah, that's
all. We're all some sort of Caribbean here, you know. Mo is Guyanese, Rios is Puerto Rican, I'm Dominican.
Puerto Rican and Haitian.
Puerto Rican and Haitian. Oh, see, I didn't know the Haitian part.
Shout out my Zoes, you feel me? Yeah, man.
Right? To all my West Indians, to all my Caribbeans. What the fuck? To all
Rios put this together. Like, he really broke it. Yeah, I can hear you. He really broke it down properly, because, like, trust me, I went away last week and it's like I literally, like, it felt like I was still back here. Like, everywhere I went, like, if I wasn't around my friends, I had on a mask. Like, I walked in Roscoe, it felt like I had on a latex condom on my body. I had like mask shit covering my face. Like, the woman, she's like, "Is everything okay with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm just trying not to spread it." Like, it's not like I don't, like, I'm not like I'm not aware. It's just like I'm trying not to spread this shit, because it's like, you work here. Like, it could be me that could get you the virus. Like, I could probably spread the virus around now. Like, you're not getting the source of income you're losing out on. So it's like, yeah, you could travel, but you got to still, like Rio said, be mindful and be aware that we're still
like, I have no issue with point.
I might shut off.
No, like my thing is state to state travel's fine. You feel me? Like I don't like, because like the thing is, like, that's easy to combat, that's easy to control, because like I said, like our healthcare system in this country can like hold that. Can stand that. Mine is California right now. They have no beds, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, California's fucked up. But I'm saying, like, other places, well, even Texas too. Like, I believe some places just don't. I believe like the Houston. They was having issues with the Houston hospitals in Houston. Like they're losing ICU. Like their ICU units are like refilling up. You know what I'm saying? So like we have to take in mind, even when you travel state to state, like, yo, listen, like, you know, these are the
pandemic taught
these
me.
are the things that you have to we have to take into consideration that
Yeah, y'all can hear me,
shit is
right?
not.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, because I think I had shut off my mic by accident.
The biggest thing this situation taught me, this whole pandemic, is that we really don't have a lot of hospitals and clinic in this country alone. Like we don't like this shit shows that like yo, we literally this country spends their money on again shit that we necessarily don't need. Like we would
Military.
probably have top of the line military shit, but like you just mentioned, California don't have bed. And like, I was out there last week, and like the spot that I went to back in November to like get a COVID test, like I called them. There's like, yeah, we have your record. Like you, like there's like, yeah. Unfortunately, you can't come here because if you come here, you have a 98% chance of catching COVID. Literally, she's like, everyone has came here ever since December 20th has caught COVID. So they're only taking people that actually have COVID. Like you just can't go in there and get a regular test. So like when he brought up like California's not having beds and shit, like it's real spooky out there.
Like we just have to, like I said, we just have to be aware of like like what we do when we travel.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
but I'm not for shaming, but like also too like
No, you just raising awareness.
yeah, like just be aware. Go ahead, E. I'm sorry,
bring
man.
up that point of why I was saying that we are some sort of Caribbean. I just want to free my people of the shackles that the hospital of WhatsApp has on our people.
Yeah.
On my West Indian people, please do not listen. Please do not open every single link you get on WhatsApp because it's a lot of misinformation. And if you're going to do that, vet the information. If at least you're going to do that, vet the information because a lot of misinformation being spread.
And this is no disrespect to any West Indian people. They suffer from the same shit that regular people in America does. It's like as long as that shit as long as the shit is bold, they're not gonna read the fine print. Like my mom showed me some shit about like some COVID shit, like back home, like not even back home, like just in the like Caribbean, like around like Haiti, fucking like DR and shit. And I'm like, Mom, did you read the rest of the article? She's like, I don't need to read the rest. I was like,
they just read the headline.
Yeah, I was like, bro, this is just misleading information. I'm like, not to sound fucked up, these areas don't have the resource like America has. So it's like this is like shit they're telling you just based on like small intakes that they have. And it's fucked up to talk about the places that we come, like our family come from, because it's like without them being from there, we wouldn't be the people we are. But sometimes I just feel like the education, I don't want to blame education, but like certain things like they bring to the light, it's like it's still new to them. So it's like it's stuck in their ways. Like
they're also an older generation.
Yeah.
They're also an older generation. So in terms of like reading articles on a phone and stuff like that might be a little bit too much for them. Like, a lot of their things needs to be out front or newspaper or whatever. A lot of their stuff needs to be super out front.
Bro, like not to sound fucked up, I'm actually happy both of my grandparents on my dad's side is not alive in this time. Because I'd probably be more afraid for them than they're afraid for me. Just based on like shit like this, like them just reading small articles. And not like my grandfather was a very aware man, but like as older you get, you stop caring about certain things. You just read the bold print. And like this last couple of years when I saw him just read articles and shit, like he would just like just read the fucking bullshit and he would just like put it down. So I mean, I love them to death. I mean, there were a lot. I mean, they got to see me graduate high school, so at least I'm happy for them for that. But yeah, man.
But yo, speaking of traveling, we're gonna fill you in about this Bali situation.
Yeah, I don't feel me
because this shit is crazy. Go ahead. Yo. All right. So there was this couple, right? So they were talking about.
We're gonna tell you her ethnic background at the end of the story.
Right. So so there was this couple, right? They were talking about escaping to Bali during the pandemic, right? So like they talked about, the money that they made in terms of like, all right, like they bought a villa, they lived in a villa, for like a couple months, right? I believe, right? It was a couple months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I'm
they
looking
got
at
they got a travel visa, which
They
is
had
supposed
a
to be about 6 months.
they had a travel visa, which is like which lasts about 6 months,
Mhm.
6 to 8 months. It depending on where you go.
Yeah.
So they were able to like basically like exploit that, like they were just exploiting it. You know what I'm saying? Like in
Mhm.
terms of like, all right, exploiting labor from the country. Like they weren't paying taxes on the business that they started in Bali, so like they weren't there on a work visa. So like they were just making tax-free money. They were spreading misinformation saying that you know Thailand and Bali is LGBT LGBT friendly, which is not true. And they were like spreading information that you know what I'm saying, like yo, like the black community in Bali like is big here, like you guys can move out here and stuff like that. So like they were pretty much just they were pretty much just like pitching Bali to like people on internet, right? So they even, and the thing is too, they even wrote an ebook, right? They even wrote an ebook and they were selling the ebook too on how to live in
And
Bali during
paying
the
no
pandemic
taxes on it.
and
Paying no
paying no
taxes
taxes
on it.
on it, right? So mind you, so here's what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went so like they posted all of that on Twitter. Mistake number one: never post shit like that on Twitter
Yo, I'm gonna
because
pause you real quick. I seen some shit. I think we both were clowning like the dude that did that shit. Like we wasn't clowning him, but we was clowning like him from the screenshot. When the dude was trying to explain like, yo, you can live off of like this, basically like this tax like fraud, and the nigga was like, yo, thank you. In 2023, we're gonna audit you for this shit. Like we was, I. So it's like
yeah.
niggas
So
just
so
love
it,
explaining shit on
so the
Twitter.
yeah, so like and especially Twitter too. Like Twitter is Twitter's watched more than possibly any other like social media site just because of the information that's constantly put out on Twitter
Free game.
on a second basis. It's not like it's you know what I'm saying? Like it's on that level. So what happened was, here's how they got caught up. They had a room on Clubhouse talking about what they were doing in Bali, right?
Damn, that's crazy.
So now the I believe what the government of Thailand, like they like got them out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like, yo, like
They brought him
nah,
in. They brought him into the council, and they got them deported.
they got them deported, right?
Damn, Shao
She
Sean
tried.
Paul.
She tried to
So
claim that she fixed her visa situation, which she really didn't.
what she really didn't. So like she lied. So on top of that, she
Lie.
lied to the government in Thailand about about her situation and her visa situation in Bali. So like, and if getting locked up abroad, especially like I've watched Locked Up Abroad, the prison in Thailand might be one of the worst prisons in like the world and stuff like that. So like
I think
that was already
Saudi Arabia has like the worst prison
right.
system.
So like the barrier there is just even bad.
But you know what's
So
funny? Even if she had gotten her visa situation fixed, you still haven't paid your taxes in with the ebook that
a
you made
year.
in a year.
They were there for a year.
Yeah, you haven't. So you would have gotten deported regardless.
Exactly.
So
So it was that situation. And then what made it worse was like, because you know how Twitter spins it, right? So like the girls were black. It wasn't like a white person or like a Spanish person. They were black, right?
Yo,
So
son, what the fuck?
so
Yeah, this
Twitter
definitely
was
a BT movie.
so Twitter was spinning it like, oh, like they're deporting these black girls out of Thailand because, and also too, like they're gay, they're lesbian. So like it
Oh,
added, so it was is that on top of that. So Twitter was like, oh, like they're deporting them, this and that and the third. But also you had to take into
Styles P, the style
yeah,
Tyler.
and don't get me wrong, a lot of the natives from Bali, they were saying some things. They were saying some very derogatory terms and words on Twitter, but it's far more than that. Like it wasn't the fact that they were black or they were part of they're lesbians. It's you broke immigration laws in a foreign country and then boasted about it on social media. You know what I mean? Like, we understand that you're a double minority now anywhere that you go, but you have to remember that you also broke immigration laws.
Right. And also too, what gets lost in that too, like us as African Americans and like minorities and stuff like that, like we're so anti gentrification and colonization, right?
And you
So
gonna
like,
do the same shit.
and they do, and that's what they exactly what they were doing. So like people were like, oh, I don't understand why people making it a big deal, this and that and the third. Oh, like ICE, and like we have ICE here, and like ICE like literally like violates human rights and stuff like that. But I'm like, listen, when you go to another country, you have to respect their laws, and you have to respect, you know what I'm saying, the things that they require
Yeah, you
for
gotta
you
play
to
by
do.
their rules.
You got to play by their rules. So when
People,
you don't play by their rules, there's consequences. So like our favorite like our favorite rapper, you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes.
what is this?
You know what I'm saying? So like that's
And
what
it's like,
what happened with that situation.
and it's like a country like Thailand, they already get exploited enough. You're exploiting leeway, like tax evasion. You're exploiting their laws.
It's
You're
fraud,
exploiting.
fraud. They were
Yeah, you're
committing
committing
fraud. They
fraud.
were committing fraud.
Like, come on. And then don't boast about it on Twitter at that, man.
That's what made it worse. Because the thing is too, like they were talking about it on TikTok, right? And they were and shit was all smooth sailing
They
on
could have
TikTok.
gotten away with it if they just didn't
They,
fucking go on Twitter.
right.
Keep your
That's
mouth
how.
shut.
Yeah, like that's why I say, like, you know what I'm saying, like people be talking too much. You feel me?
Like, listen,
That's
get your money. Like, we happy you making money, but keep your mouth shut. If you're gonna commit fraud, keep your mouth shut.
exactly.
Stick to what you know. Stick to what you know.
And that was a situation that at hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, like that caused the uproar. So it was just bad for them all around. So like, but they're lucky too, because like they didn't get locked. They didn't get locked up in Thailand. They didn't get locked up over there. So like they would have been doing serious time if they got locked up.
They
over
got
there.
it good.
Yeah, like they got away scot free as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? Like getting back deported here, I'd take that any chance of the week than actually spending any time in a Thailand jail. So they got lucky. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say, like, guys, just if you're gonna commit fraud or commit any crimes, man, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you don't need to put people on and try to make them slut the system out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was just bad. I got a question for you. I got a question for you guys though, man.
Sure.
So Tuesday, I mean, I believe it was Tuesday. The inauguration happened.
That was Wednesday.
Right. It was Wednesday. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Yo,
Yeah,
I'm actually happy you segued to this because before we get to that, because the last time you was on this episode with Brent, it was election week, and now you're back inauguration week, which is like, it's not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence.
it's not. It's really not.
But before we get into that question you're about to ask, like whatever question, did anyone of you guys watch that documentary on Netflix called Crack?
Yes, I did.
Is that the Ronald Reagan documentary?
All of them niggas. It's not just Reagan.
It's all of them. It's all.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard about this.
Bro,
I saw it. Yeah.
Like, I watch a lot of documentaries. I never watch a documentary. Like, like we love 90s hip hop. We love the mafioso rap. This is probably the first documentary I ever watched, and it felt like it was tailored like a rap song because it showed both sides of the spectrum. Like, it showed the user, the abuser, and the government, like all in one.
And the dealer too.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it showed all of that like in one, and like I was just like sitting there, like I didn't know who to feel sorry for because like everyone played a part in destroying the ghetto. Like everyone, like I know, like obviously they brought drugs into the country, but like seeing like for the first time because I never understood the terminology crack baby, because like I met people from the 80s that parents that was on drugs and shit, and they were never like quote unquote called crack baby. So like growing up hearing that, I was always felt like, why the fuck people say that? And like in the documentary broke that down, like, yo, that was just a myth just to scare people. And I was like, yo, damn, these motherfuckers are evil. God damn.
Right. And what made it, what the documentary, like what it showed for me was because well, me, I was a journalism major in college. So like I wrote about the I wrote an article about the crack epidemic, like the after effects of the crack epidemic with our generation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I'm pretty well versed on this topic. What the highlight of it to me was crack was like the first drug that like it femalized drug addiction. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that was the first like drug that like killed it impacted women more than it did men. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like heroin, where because like heroin, like we had a spike in heroin in the 70s because of like, you know, guys from Vietnam, and like, you know, like people were just on heroin because of the opioids, and like, you know, like people were getting hurt, so like they had to cope in order for that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas crack, it affected a lot of women, and like especially in the African American and Latino,
more I think about
more than men, it
because
affected them, you know, more, and especially for minority women. So like when like we had, so like it was crazy to see like the spike of Black women and Latino women in jail from the 80s and 90s due to, you know what I'm saying, like low level drug crimes. So like that, so like the underlying effect was like, you know, like a generation, like literally like it wiped out a generation of like nuclear families. So like that got to me, that was the most like highlighted part about the crack epidemic, you know, because like it womanized drug addiction to the point where, like, you know, not womanized drug addiction, it emphasized, you know, drug use on women, because like you said, the crack baby theory, which was completely bullshit, because it was like, I believe like baby cocaine
Makes your
addicted babies were
baby's
like,
eyes blue or something like that.
no, it was like they said like if you smoke crack, like the chances of your baby being addicted to crack were like at 98%, right? So like there was issues, like there was a case in Miami where a woman was like, you know, her name was Loretta Johnson. She was she was addicted to crack, right? So like she found out that she was pregnant, right? So she wanted to get help. She wanted to like combat her drug problem so she can have a healthy baby, you know? And the you know, they threw her in jail because they said, "Oh, she's killing her baby because she's smoking crack." But the thing was that she confided into a doctor that said, "Yo, listen, like I want to get help for my child, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm having a baby. I also want to get off drugs." So they convicted her of what, attempted murder, right? And child endangerment, I believe, right? It was that, right? So like, yeah. And she ended up having 2 healthy babies.
Yeah,
And
I was in the documentary. She was like, yeah,
she ended up having 2 healthy babies, and that shifted the whole narrative of the crack baby to where like it's actually a 3% chance that if you do cocaine or you smoke crack, you know, that your baby is going to be addicted to crack. So like with the crack baby theory, you know what I'm saying, like that literally destroyed a generation of people. You know what I'm saying, with that theory. So like when we look at like the crack epidemic and stuff like that, and like we look at like, you know, the opioid epidemic and stuff like that, because me personally, the opioid epidemic affected me firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Like I was addicted to opioids. So it hit me, it hits like it doesn't hit the same as the crack epidemic, but like I understand why there's a backlash with the opioid epidemic compared to the crack epidemic, because more white people are addicted to opioids than Black people are. So
Rios,
obviously they're gonna combat the problem. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
I don't like when people do like drug shaming on people. And now I'm not saying you do it, because like we had this conversation many times. It's like the one time when we was like chilling and we went and got tacos, and we was like, yo, we don't get, like, I was like, I don't get how people could like say like someone that does like cocaine is like they're like a terrible person, but then they would go around, like turn around and do Adderall and shit, and it's the same effects you get from Adderall, and like perks and all that is the same thing you get from like cocaine to
or heroin. Yeah, or heroin. Yeah, perks and heroin are the same thing. Percocets and heroin are exactly the same thing.
People drink lean, and
like
that's considered like a normal thing. But if you see someone right now shoot dope in their hands, you're probably like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" Like it's. I don't like the drug shaming shit. If you want to do your shit in peace, let that other person do your shit in peace, because it's
right.
Like you're not better than the other person. Like you're doing something that's considered like it's a norm. Like everyone does it, and the other person is doing something that's like, yo, that shit seems more dangerous because it's televised dangerous. But it's like you're no better. It's like if you're gonna do it, let that person do it. So it's like as a kid, I used to like, yeah, you're a fucking crack baby if you do this. But then it's like you're a kid. You don't know no better, but as older you get, you start to realize like, yo, both of these shits are quote unquote bad for you, but no one is better than each other. So if someone snorts, let them snort, but like don't shit on them for them snoring, and you're out here taking every pill that Meek Mill name on a track, and like you thinking that's like regular, like it's not. Yeah,
right. And it's crazy because like that documentary really like showed me the difference on how they like attack the crack problem to how they attack the opioid issue.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like we have like pretty much like, you know what I'm saying? Like now with the opioid issue, like, you know, big pharma's we got rid of big pharma, like Purdue drug industries it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like the benzamine companies and stuff like that, those companies are gone now, right? But the fact of the matter is that the United States was literally funneling cocaine here
for multiple
places. So like it's just fucked up how, like, you know what I'm saying, like the deliverance of it and like the actual actions taken are literally yin and yang. So it's interesting. Like I recommend everyone watch the crack documentary just because of the time that we're in now, especially with the opioid crisis and the way that they attack the opioid crisis versus to like how they attacked the crack epidemic back in the 80s and 90s.
And it proved my point too, like watching that, because I said numerous times on the show that like our number 45th president, Donald J. Trump, he runs America the same way how your local drug dealer will want to run America. It's like he's just thinking about the big dollars, but he's not thinking about the negative aspects of like him this doing what he's doing. Because like for instance, like the street capitalist segment of the show, that was like very eye-opening to me, because like it was this one cat, he looked Hispanic, he said, yo, I don't give a fuck if you got $30, $5. If you want this shit, I'm gonna give it to you. And that's how like capitalists work in America. Like they don't give a fuck if you're gonna like if this shit doesn't work in your house, as long as you're paying me.
Money's gonna be spent.
Yeah, like that. And like when I looked at that, I rewinded 3 times because I'm like, yo, this is the same shit that like Rios is like telling people like, yo, capitalism isn't the way shit should be going. And it's like drug dealers and fucking capitalists, like all these rich motherfuckers think the same way. They don't care about you at the end of the day. They just care about the residual they get.
Right, because like if you think about it, like, yo, like you're exploiting some form of labor, or you're exploiting like something like that. Like that's what it comes down to. So like whether if you're a drug dealer, you know what I'm saying, or like you fucking run a multi-billion-dollar company like Amazon, like you're literally exploiting something. You're exploiting like some form of a labor, or you're exploiting a service. So that's what it comes down to. So like it was interesting. I recommend everyone watch the crack documentary. You know what I'm saying, on Netflix. It's very good.
It's probably the best. 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's quick too. It's a quick watch. It's an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, like
an hour and 20 minutes. Like so, like I recommend everyone watch that. It's very, but also too, like keep in mind when you watch it, like how we've attacked the opioid problem to how they attacked the crack epidemic in the 80s and 90s. So like just also
Rios is saying
this is the one.
Look at the color of the skin of the people that they're attacking.
Right. Like, also too that as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like but like me, like I said before, you know what I'm saying? Like I was addicted to opioids at some point. So like it you know what I'm saying? Like it
And you got over it.
shit's
I'm proud of you.
I got over it. I got over it, but I'm saying like shit comes full circle. So like it's a bad thing. But I
Chicken
just
Bruce.
but yeah, chickens will come with the roost. But also, I want to ask you guys this though, man.
Sure.
What were your thoughts on the inauguration, man? What were your thoughts on it? Did y'all even watch it? And like, I want to know.
I was at work. I was at work during the inauguration, so I was just keeping it on Twitter.
I was watching the Wayne's brother when that shit was going on. I came to the realization, like after watching the 2008, 2009 inauguration and the 2012, because it was like whatever.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend at the time forced me to watch it. Is that like I don't want to quote D'Angelo Barksdale from The Wire. I don't give a fuck about the president. Like this man is not like he's the face of the free world. But the niggas that I should be worried about is my fucking city council. I need to see them on TV. I need to see the niggas that's gonna like help my city recover from all this shit that's going on. Like I get it. I get it. It's a big ass party. Niggas is happy, but like you posted, the job is not done, bro. Like it's still
Like
more to be finished. Like
right. And my thing with the inauguration was like, I mean, people were watching it for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when words like monochromatic and like Yas Queen and like Laid are trending during something that like affects our actual livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Like this doesn't affect just black people. This affects all forms of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is our government. You feel me? Like this is the shit that even though people think that, oh, like politics doesn't affect me on like a personal scale, it affects you on a grand scale because like there's a reason why, you know what I'm saying? Like
to that more this year.
You know what I'm saying? Like it affects us on a grander scale. So like, especially like when we have like, you know, the first black woman vice president, you know what I'm saying? Like actually, you know what? She's the first woman vice president, you know what I'm saying? When we have that in office, like, you know what I'm saying? But also we have to
I'm happy, but I'm actually happy that she got that. But also
too, we have to look into like also too like I say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Yeah,
you feel me?
That's what I'm say. Because it's like I remember last year around this time, women that I saw tweeting, like, yes, this is so monumental. Like it's a woman of color in the office. Like, trust me, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to tell like some of my friends' little brothers or sisters, like, yo, it's a woman in the office. Like, you should be proud of this. But it's like, I don't want to ruin their like, I don't like. It's not good to like tell a little kid like, yo, this person's fucking evil at this point, because I need them to like grow up and like learn for them, like kind of learn for themselves. But like, it was people like yeah, I'm happy Kamala's making history, but it's like these are the same people. Was like Kamala's a piece of shit. She fucking put innocent black men in Oakland away.
She was dude.
I'm aware, but like these are the same women that were saying yes, and this is monumental, and I'm happy, I'm proud as a woman. She's a Howard alum. Like, yo, I want y'all to keep that same energy year 3, because that's when you really see who a nigga really is like these public positions
officials. Right.
Yeah, like year 1 and year 2, cool. But if you don't deliver by year 3, because you know everybody's quick to say like we're still like most people are still off this high, and I'm like I love you know what's so funny? The night before the inauguration, I actually watched that Boondock episode when they did the Obama shit. And when they did the song called Dick Riding Obama, like I watched that whole episode. Like I watched it again just to like see like restore the feel. And like the thing about it was so funny about it that the monologues of it, right? Like they showed the first year, like, yeah, we're just happy Obama's here. And in year 3, there's like, this motherfucker didn't do anything for me that he said he was supposed to do. All I got was a bullshit invite to the fucking inauguration. So everybody, I hope you're on this high, but just remember, just don't forget that Kamala did.
The job's not finished, bro. The job isn't done.
Just forget that Kamala did some shit y'all didn't like a couple months ago. And
also too, like here's how dirty the politics game is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and she married a white man.
No, not even. Not who gives a fuck about that. Almost 9 months ago, you know what I'm saying? Like, she said how she sided with the Joe Biden victims, right? Of like, of sexual assault. And you know what I'm saying? Like that was the main thing with that, like she sided with the victims. And like the fact of the matter is like now that's like your running mate and like that's the person that you hold in office together. It, it's crazy. It's very a dirty game. And like people are excited that Trump's out of office.
Yeah,
Granted, yes,
we
this
all,
our
we
ele-
all should
our
be.
human listen, this election was a matter of human rights. Our human rights were essentially at stake with Trump versus Biden. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you have fascism versus hardcore neoliberalism. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
like obviously people are gonna it's the lesser of two evils, right? So like, but at the end of the day, both parties cater to one thing and one thing only. They cater to big businesses. So we have to take into consideration that listen, these political parties, all they will do is lobby for big businesses in order for them to get what they want. Even with the Obama administration, for example, right? We had the BP oil spill, right?
yeah.
Now, obviously, the BP oil it was a man-made natural disaster, probably one of like second
Yeah,
ever.
the worst, one of the
It
worst.
might be the worst
Might be the
man-made
worst.
natural disaster. It might be the worst man-made natural disaster in America, in American
BP
history, right?
happened like near Louisiana, right? If I'm mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened.
Yep.
Yeah, it happened like 2010, like 20 around that time,
Yeah, I
right?
Off the
remember
So
that.
Gulf of Mexico. Yeah.
I didn't
Pretty
pay
much the
full
Gulf of
attention.
Mexico.
right, but also too, like we have to look at BP, right? BP is what? British Petroleum, right? So like the United States allowed for an oil company that's not from here, you know what I'm saying? That is a for-profit oil company, you know what I'm saying, to drill here, mess up the entire marshland of the Gulf of Mexico, which is still fucked up to this day. You know what I'm saying? And like we still haven't got that back. Once marshland is gone, it's gone. It's not like a forest area where like you have germination and like things can grow back and steadily go back to what they are. No, when things grow in water and you kill that, it's gone. It affects everything. So like shrimping, like for example, like shrimping boat businesses that are vital to like that area in New Orleans and the Gulf of Mexico and like Mississippi, like Shreveport and stuff like that, and like Arkansas,
Yeah,
like the coast of Arkansas. Those people,
that's America.
like that's America. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like people were losing their jobs and losing money on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? Just because of someone forgetting, holy shit, I drilled a fucking hole too fucking deep and now I don't know what the fuck to do. So like that was
And
the
let's not
issue
even
at
forget
hand. Uh,
just the marshland, man. You like there are animals that make up that ecosystem, man.
right. And like those and
And
like the thing is like
and they can't reproduce in that area anymore. And
True.
right.
animals, like people forget that certain animals that live in those type of environments are vital to that area for it to grow, for the ecosystem to continue going.
Right. So like that's why when like that's why like around that time like people couldn't get crab legs and shrimp and all that shit like that because shit was just so fucked up. So like but also too like that's just the greed part of the politics. You know what I'm saying? I won't even get into like the whole politics and people being war criminals and stuff like that. I mean, granted, like
Yeah, bro.
like
Like I said,
obviously like bro, we treated Syria like a Call of Duty map. You know what I'm saying? And that was under the
bro.
Obama administration.
I mean,
So like
Syria was literally
we,
shipment.
we could we could go different generations on generations of niggas treating countries like Call of Duty map. Like,
right,
bro, fucking
but
Grenada was like Nuketown, like a couple years.
like it's like and if you
Years
think
back.
about it too, like us as the United States, right? We attack countries that don't believe in the same government ideologies as we do, right?
Yeah,
Like so like even for
France
example,
too.
like the Sandinese,
France do
like
the same shit.
like the Sandinistas, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like even with the crack documentary, right? Like they wanted they had a socialist regime, whereas
yeah,
a social like people just think that socialism is bad because what we show in China, what things that go down in China, stuff like that, right? but they won't show you Sweden, Norway, you know what I'm saying? Like countries that like actually practice this, and like, you know what I'm saying, it actually works for them, you know, like like I feel like if you live in a country, you should control the means of production of goods in that country, you know, like there's a reason why the United States tries to invade Cuba, and Cuba says, yo, you guys can go fuck yourself, we're fine here. Even Venezuela too. Venezuela, they tried to infiltrate Venezuela, and Venezuela said, "Yo, you guys get the fuck out of here. We're fine here."
Venezuela got that.
So like,
the United States has done so many coups, man.
Right.
Venezuela, Honduras.
It's
we keep it going.
Yeah, it's like
going.
It's just like a never-ending thing with them. It's like playing Pac-Man. You're just trying to get the highest score at this point. Like whatever you do, you're just trying to take over and over. It's like, yo, if this country's got something I need, I'm gonna take that. Or if you don't give it to me,
or like if I don't like what you're doing in this country, then like, you know, like especially like even a prime example, like the Middle East, like what we did in Iraq, like in the 70s
war.
But Iraq, the seed was planted in like the 70s, and that was because like they wanted to establish, the United States basically established fundamentalism in Iraq due to, like, you know what I'm saying, like they were afraid because Iraq was a westernized society, like, you know what I'm saying, they before
Senior and Saddam, they never saw eye to eye.
Right. So like they pretty much, you know what I'm saying, like established Ayatollah Khomeini in that power. So when you have, you know what I'm saying, like us as a big influence, you know what I'm saying, because we want three things. We want oil, money, and motherfucking guns. I mean, no, not guns. We want oil and motherfucking money, right? Because we can't get it as much as we can here.
Because we're gonna get all of that with the oil and money. Because it's just persuading.
Right. So it's so, like I said, like going from Trump to Biden is basically like this. What we did, we were playing Super Mario 2, and we went from Mario to Luigi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what just happened.
Like, we just went to player 2. That's basically what we just did.
Like that's it. Yeah, so like
there's no progression. It's like I literally have no expectation for Joe Biden. Like the only president I had expectations for, and it's like because I was a teenager, was Obama. Because I'm like, yo, this is a black guy.
And like the thing is too, like I'm
forget that the reason why Osama bin Laden created Al Qaeda was to go against the U.S. because the U.S. went to Saudi. They went to Saudi Arabia and just took over the whole shit.
Yeah, and also too, you know,
Osama bin Laden's dad was a multi-million-dollar. He was a billionaire, practically a billionaire.
Yeah,
in the public industry,
and he was, and also too, like,
and he sold the land. He sold that land to the U.S., bro.
And there also too, like we forget that Osama bin Laden was trained by the CIA.
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
Trained by the CIA, so bro, like he used our tactics against us.
His family were the ones that built, like his father, his uncles, and all of them. They were the ones that helped build all of the military stations in that time in Saudi Arabia. They gave him a whole little section where they had houses, bars, clubs, all that shit.
Bro, you did know, like,
a lot of people don't know that.
In 96 is when he even became like the world's like most dangerous, like one of the world's most wanted men, like 96, 97. He was actually, I think, like number 20 richest man in the world at that time, and the most dangerous man to the threat of the United States. And like he was literally
that man went into this shit with no military training. Yeah. But because he knew how to build buildings, that's the shit that got him through, bro.
And the thing about it that like I read a couple of things and watched a small little clips of that, like he didn't care about money at all. Like he didn't care about money, he didn't care about war. He just didn't like how America bullied people. And that was just he was just trying to get his point across, like, yo, you're not just gonna come bully everyone and think people are just gonna lay down. And that was like the issue. And
the thing is too, like you said, bully people, right? Like with the Korean War, we thought shit was gonna be sweet in Korea. We thought, all right, if shit was so sweet in Korea, that all right, we're gonna infiltrate Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
What happened in Vietnam was the opposite. It was
No,
the
no, yo,
opposite.
yo, the
This
Vietnam
country doesn't
War,
even acknowledge Vietnam, bro. They
Bro,
act like it
right.
happened.
bro. No, the reason why
Because
the
they were
Vietnam
kicking
is funny.
because you know what it is? They were what made it different was that they were kicking our ass. The Viet Cong, right? We were fighting the
Kicking
Viet
France
Cong,
ass, and then
right?
France begged US to join. Like
Right.
France,
So like we had
France
the Viet Cong, right? Was like it wasn't a group of just like Vietnamese soldiers or whatever.
Chao
No,
Ho Chi Minh.
it was the people of Vietnam fighting against the United States, right? So like pretty much think about it this way. We were getting our ass kicked off people who were just eating bowls of rice. You know what I'm saying? And like the United States were just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like this, we've never seen a war of this ever proportion like this because like these people know the land. You know what I'm saying? Like they know these things, and they were kicking our fucking ass, and we had to pull out. And then that's why we won't acknowledge the Vietnam War. So that's why, like I say, like we've just become this imperialized. We just want to imperialize everybody. And I'm saying when you celebrate these elected officials, you know what I'm saying, especially in high power, like that's what they are. They're imperialist and they're war criminals. So like keep in mind that like when you say yes, queen to Kamala Harris and shit like that, like like you're literally like praising war criminals. Like I just want people to understand that like that's the thing that you are promoting. So like it's not it's just tasteless. You know what I'm saying? It's just tasteless.
Yeah, but yo, quick little side note about the inauguration, right? Why was niggas hyping out whack ass LL Cool J freestyle?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Well, that video's old as shit though.
Yeah,
right? That's from what the Bush that was Bush's or that was Clinton.
Nah, it was Bill Clinton, the '93 inauguration, right?
Right.
And like I saw that shit in 2012 when like Obama won his second term, like 2012, 2013. And like I was like, yo, why is this resurfacing? And now it resurfaced like this time around. And like people was like, yo, LL is like, I can't believe LL dissed George Bush. I'm like, bro, if you remember, if you look in the history books of the 1992 election, you will see why George Bush lost. He didn't lose because of Bill Clinton. He lost because he had no fucking plan for the fucking Soviets. He literally had no plan. Like it's a whole fucking 2-hour video of the fucking when him, Clinton, and the other dude, I think his name is like Porad or some shit. They all faced off and they asked Bush like, "What do you have planned for the Soviets?" And he was like, "I don't know." But this Clinton has the plan. So like people was like, yeah, like he dissed him. I'm like, yo, bro, there's a reason why like he said that shit because he had no fucking plan. It wasn't because LL Cool J was like some witty rapper. Like that was like my only thing.
But also too, like that's my favorite. That it's crazy because like early '90s LL is my favorite version.
He was fly as fuck. He was fly as fuck.
It's not even. No, he's my favorite version. Like 14, like all right, like 14 shots to the dome. LL Cool J is my favorite version. Is my favorite version of LL Cool J, bro. You feel me? Like that's the best version of LL Cool J. Don't let this shit get it twisted.
No. But it's
I'm not dissing him. No, I'm saying no. I'm just saying in general, right? But like it was like, funny. It was just funny to see that, And
yeah, like you know we be talking about like niggas just love doing performing this shit. Like when like serious shit is on the line, like elections shit, niggas bring up like all this performative shit. Like we didn't really need to see that freestyle. What we really need to do is see like what do they have planned for people that lost their jobs? We need to see what is next
the plan for the plan of how to attack COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like bro,
I can talk about a rap video from 1993. I was probably 7 months old. Like I don't care about that. I need to see real shit. I need to see I need to see that bitch that stole Nancy Pelosi computer in like chains or some shit. Like that's what I need to see.
And like also too,
Shorty is able to stay on house arrest, man. Khalif Browder couldn't even go home for like.
Wait, she's on house arrest?
Yes, bro. She's on house arrest. Khalif Browder couldn't even get. He never even saw court.
Wait a minute. You steal a computer from a federal office, and you get house arrest.
And you remember the picture of the guy that sat with his legs up on her table and took her piece of mail? He got house arrest too.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to that man. No, not even shout out to that.
Let's remember that Khalif Browder never even saw a judge.
Day in court. Yeah, like we never
saw
a day in court.
How long he was in jail without seeing? He was like 3 years, right?
3 years.
3 years.
Without seeing. Bro, I was at BCC before he committed suicide. We were at BCC at the same time.
I'm gonna say this: Khalif Browder, RIP, took his life. He didn't need to do that. He will forever live in New York as like the reason why Rikers Island will be shut down in like 4 more years. I cannot wait. That should need to fucking burn down.
We need. I don't know if the family has tried to do this. I'm pretty sure they have. The city needs to pay for his death. They killed him.
Yeah, because
they killed him. They committed murder. They have blood on their hands for his death.
Bro, like that it was so real. I remember when that shit would hit the news and my pops was telling me, brother, he's like, yo, be careful. I'm like, bro,
over a book bag that he never stole, that they claim he did.
And that was like the resurgence of the stop and frisk era too. Like that 2000 that happened like 2011.
Yeah. Like it was crazy too around that time. Like New York City around that time, because the thing is too, like we were in high school around that time. I mean, granted, like I'm from Long Island, so like but the thing is, I would spend a lot of time in like New York City. Like I would spend a lot of time in Queens and Brooklyn and stuff like that. Like, so there's been times where I was like stopped and frisked and stuff like that, and I'm like, yo, this is just violent. This is just. It's just you're violating human rights right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
A crazy story. The job I work at now, right? The building that's there, I got stopped and frisked in front of that building. September 8th of 2012. I would never forget that day. The same building I work at, I got stopped and frisked right in front of that building. September 8th of 2012. Like. That's like that's why like when like any like dude told me like yo stop and frisk wasn't bad or like if they were just doing their job, it's like, bro, you want to know what I had on me that day? A fucking Century 21 bag with fucking boxes in it. Why am I getting stopped for that?
Like, I remember for me, like I was going to class. It was like the first time I got stopped and frisked. I was a freshman at I was a freshman in college. And I went to the library. I went to a library to like pick up something or whatever, to pick up a book. And then I took the train and I was going back to school. So I was like walking back to the campus and I got stopped and frisked. And you know what they did? Like, bro, they shook my bag. They like my laptop was on the thing, whatever. Like they broke my laptop. They broke my laptop. So like that's how fucked up like stop and frisk was. You know what I'm saying? And just because of that little spike in crime that happened because dudes were getting shot for their coats. You know what I'm saying? That's what it stemmed off.
All those tactics came from not even like I know Bloomberg gets most of the blame because his era it was where like people were stopped the most. But all that tactic came from
Giuliani.
Yeah, Giuliani, like the end of the David Dinkin years, like they ramp it up, stop and frisk, like, and they were only doing it in neighborhoods that like people that look like us three. So like for the numbers in New York City, crime went down low. But if you minimize neighborhoods that don't look like the Upper East Side and West Side in the mid 90s, and just go to like a Bed-Stuy, a Bushwick, a Jamaica, Queens, the number goes up by 700%. So like people forget that like, yeah, crime went down as New York City as a whole, but it's two sides of New York City that people forget. It's a side where people never go to, and there's a side that people live there day in and day out, and that's what makes those people make New York what it is. So like stop and frisk, it's traumatizing speaking about this shit right now. Granted, like I didn't go
for real. Yeah, for real. Same here. I didn't
go to Central Booking, but like to see like a fucking cop that looks the same as me did that shit to me, it's even more worse because like now it's just like I have friends that are cops and it's like they look at it as like, yo, like people like everyone is against them, but they never look at it from this aspect like, yo, how about I try to speak to these people on a person-to-person level before,
right? And like also too, like the militarization of the police. That stop and frisk to me is that's a military tactic as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned. So like,
exactly.
and like we have like, especially like, like we have these crazy task force, you know what I'm saying, like that like we don't need. And like, like think about it too, like, you know what I'm saying, like the school to prison pipeline, you feel me, like that's a real thing, you know what I'm saying. Me, I don't like me, like I didn't have to go through that personally, you know what I'm saying. Like luckily, like
It felt like
where I
I went
live,
for
right,
like
like luckily, luckily where I live, I didn't have to deal with that on a, on a grander scale, whereas you two had to deal with that, you know what I'm saying. Like I guess you're going up in New York City and dealing with that educational system over there. No, not over there, in New York City.
yeah.
Like it's
I'm
just
happy you didn't have to experience it, bro. It's
right.
I'm
It
happy.
it
Like,
it because like
I
even
tell
like my
all my
homies,
friends that's like from Scarsdale, like upstate in Long Island, like New York City high school. It looks cool because like it's like it's just like the allure. Like yeah, like I live.
it's a cultural, like, yeah, like it's a cult, like, all right, like New York, like even like growing up, like as a high schooler and stuff like that, like I was a pretty decent basketball player in high school, and like I had a lot of friends that were from Brooklyn and Queens that I played travel basketball with and stuff like that, and like their whole mindset of just like their day-to-day life was just different because they had to deal with stop and frisk.
Yeah,
They just, so like I didn't look at it as a youngin, as a young 18, as a young 16, 17, 18 year old, you're not looking at it that way, because like you're just like, all right, listen, like, like, bro, like
this is
just
a
don't
norm.
carry,
Like,
yeah,
this,
like this is like, bro, just don't carry shit on you. But it's like, yo, like, no, like it's not that simple. It's just like, yo, like they're literally stopping random black men and black women on the street, and they're like just shaking you down. And like it took that to happen to me in order to realize, holy shit, like, yo, this is really like they're violating human rights. You know what I'm saying? So like we just have to, us as a society, like we just have to hold our elected officials accountable for
yeah,
everything for everything they do and everything that they say. Like even like the squad, for example, like AOC and like Elian Omar and the new guy Jamal Brown and Warnock and shit like that. Like,
you gotta hold them
granted,
accountable.
hold them accountable. You feel me? Like, granted, like, yo, listen,
Are
AOC,
they are doing the work, but
like, grant you could do the groundwork. Like, my thing with AOC is, all right, like, she does this, she says all this, right? But like, she voted for Pelosi as Speaker in the office. So like, you want to take 3 steps forward, but you took 20 steps back with that. So like, how are you going to say these things about her when you put her back in office? So it's kind of like it's very hypocritical. You know what I'm saying?
through the
So
teeth.
it's like so it's like, we have to like hold everyone accountable now at this point. Like I feel like this is the time, especially now we are in times that we've never seen before, where everyone is affected by COVID-19 in some form or fashion, whether you've lost your job, whether you are someone's died from COVID that personally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or,
wow.
simple things like
I
that.
know anyone
It's
that
tough.
I know personally that lost a family member, someone dear to them to
Right.
COVID.
Like
Should have
think
seen.
about it. Yo, 20 million Americans don't have jobs right now. You feel me? Like this is the highest unemployment rate that we've ever faced in our life, ever. Ever. Have ever seen ever. So like it's the things that we just have to, take into consideration when we, you know what I'm saying, like when we choose our elected officials. So like that's my thing. So like when I see words like monochromatic and like Yas Queen and Laid being trending on Twitter, it's like, yo, what the fuck are we celebrating now?
Yeah, like I get it. Michelle Obama,
She's
beautiful black
beautiful.
woman.
Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman.
Beautiful black woman. I don't give a fuck about that dress. I do not give a fuck
Don't.
about that
Like
dress.
the Bernie memes and stuff like that too. Like,
Yeah,
bro.
like don't get me wrong. It was funny the first time I saw it when I looked at my phone, but I'm like, all right, this is not funny. This this is someone that really is trying to help everyone. This is this is not like
We dropped the ball on Bernie Sanders twice.
yeah, and like but that's the thing. Like I think Edsel brought it up, or someone brought it up to you. It's like the older generation, but we can't keep blaming them when it's like we're the new, like we're gonna be that generation pretty soon. Like not pretty soon, but we're gonna be that generation one day. So it's like you can't say only old people didn't vote for Bernie. It's people the same age as us that didn't vote for Bernie because they don't understand what socialism is. That's the problem. Like even I'm not that far. Like I don't know that much about it, but I know it's way better than this capitalist shit we got dealing with right now, by far. I know that for sure. So it's like you need to stop blaming the older generation. Yes, the older generation hinders a lot of things that happen, but eventually we got to make a change. Like we always say, like, yeah, change is gonna come, but we keep saying that, and like you said, we take
people are just so focused on taxes going up, but you don't even fit the tax bracket.
No, that's
like you're not making $400,000 a year. Don't worry about the taxes. You know what you need to worry about? You need to worry about your fucking boy fucking your bitch. That's what you need to worry about. You need to worry about us seeing your frontals. You need to worry about you're worrying about the wrong things. You're not in the tax bracket. People are worried about the wrong things. Wow, they're gonna tax Jeff Bezos. Why do you care?
They should tax him. He deserves.
No. He needs to be taxed. Like,
but what I'm saying is,
I think high proportion right now.
What I'm saying is, he needs to be taxed like yesterday, like 10 years ago. But people
think about it. All right, I'm putting it in perspective, listeners. The three of us in here paid more taxes than Jeff Bezos did. Three of us. No, like income tax, state tax. We all paid more money in taxes than Jeff Bezos did.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people. I mean, you're very well versed about this topic, Rio. So we're gonna let you speak about this because it's people out here. It's like
that's why I stay quiet. There's certain things that I know, but certain things I need to get educated on, which is why I just let you speak.
I don't know that much about Jeff Bezos. That's like when you speak about it, I shut up because it's like a learning process for me. So like people that always say yeah, but Jeff Bezos, he deserved that money, but you can work.
You need to pay your taxes like every other American.
Yeah, I thought every American paid taxes.
Right, and also too we have to look at big business as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like granted, all right, Kanye and Jay-Z, for example, right? Those guys are billionaires, right? But also too, in order for you to be a billionaire, you have to exploit some form of labor or some form of service, right? So Jay-Z, for example, right? Jay-Z got the majority of his wealth through what? Real estate, right? And investing in real estate, right?
Yeah.
He was kicking African Americans and Spanish people out of their homes. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so it's the little things like that get lost in the celebration of him being a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm happy a black man.
No, all right, listen.
Listen, man. As much as we love Jay-Z and we revere him,
Let's not act
like at one point you sold crack where the Barclay is, and you also kicked out the people you sold crack to build the Barclays.
Right. So also too with that, for example, right? All right, representation, listen, us as black people and us as minorities, right? We're so big on representation, and it does matter. It does matter in certain instances, right? For me, representation matters when black coaches don't get hired for NFL jobs,
yes.
Right? That's the thing.
Especially when they have the number one offense for the last 5 years.
Eric B. Listen, we'll talk about Eric B. and me. We'll talk about that on my show. Yeah. But especially you know what I'm saying, when we have even in the NBA, right? There's not enough black coaches in the NBA as well, too. You know what I'm saying? There's also a discrepancy in that too. There's not enough black guys in front office positions and stuff like that. And especially in a league, in those leagues in the NFL and the NBA where the majority of the players are black, right? So yes, that really matters and stuff like that, right? But when it comes to people being billionaires and stuff like that, and people you know what I'm saying, politicians, right? that those go hand in hand. Like capitalism and stuff like that, like they exploited labor, they exploited people in order for them to get where they had to go. And like I say all the time, like if you're black, like you should really not be a capitalist, because capitalism has been used against you in some form or fashion in society, no matter what, whether it's in Jim Crow, whether it was, like I said, the crack epidemic in the 80s and stuff like that, right? And whether it was, you know what I'm saying, like shit now, shit that's going on right now. Like it has never benefited black people, because with capitalism, there is a rooted racism when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? Like we have Black Wall Street, right? Black Wall Street was a form of socialism in a sense, because granted, yeah, we were
that
trading
happened 1920 something, right? That's
right,
almost,
but granted, we were trading money, but also too we were bartering goods to each other. So that's a form of socialism, because we were controlling the means of
it's
production of
name.
things. We were controlling the things in the means of our neighborhood and stuff like that, and of our people. And white people did not want that. You know what I'm saying? And they fucked our shit up. So
y'all like where
like,
you go, because I want to bring. It's gonna
so like
person that
so like
everyone
when we talk about like, oh, like I want to be a billionaire. First of all, the chances of you being a billionaire literally are slim to none. Okay, like literally, like you're not going to be a billionaire, people. Like you're just not. Like it's a pipe dream. You feel me?
For you to be any guy, a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, you're gonna have to be a terrible person.
Gotta be a shitty human being at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to be.
As much as I love the movie Wall Street, it made me realize, like, yo, that's the movie that, like, I literally was my turning point in life. Like, Wall Street with Michael Douglas. Like,
Michael Douglas, yeah, the one in the 80s,
the one that made the turning point of my life, where I was like, how much, like with the song that Kendrick has, how much a dollar really costs? Like that was the tipping point. Like, yo, how much this money really worth to people? Because like you just keep going and going and going, but you're at this point you're just destroying other people's lives as you rise to the top. So yeah, like you may get money, but then it's like you're not for you. Like you're becoming a billionaire, right? But like Rios said, you're exploiting other people at this point. And as the more you go, you're destroying homes, businesses, and things that people need on a day in and day out for you.
Right, and like
$1 billion that you may never spend.
And also, too, people forget the discrepancy that, like, yo, like the difference between being a millionaire and a billionaire is literally like a huge difference. Like that extra zero, it's insane in terms of like what you can do with that. So like when we see like, you know, like think about it, like bro, like Jeff Bezos, he's never gonna spend that money. He can't. It's impossible.
You know what?
It's impossible.
He's gonna make half of that pretty soon. Like back, like he spent it, he's gonna make it back. So it's like, what are you really using that money for? That's what people ask him. Why? Like, yeah, I get it. Like he has all the money in the world, and we're like world hungry. He can do that, but also it's like he's gonna get that shit right back. So it's like it's not like he's not gaining anything from ending world hunger. You're getting that shit right back. It's like like Billy Paul said, money circulates, bro. Like no matter what you do, it's gonna circulate. It's always gonna come back to you. Like yeah, you go down, but you're gonna come right back up. Especially with a guy with residuals like that. Like
if he ends world hunger, he's just gonna get a tax break.
Right. Yeah, but the thing is with tax breaks, right? Like now, like with tax breaks, because you brought up a good point, E, right? So like with tax breaks, right? Like I'm a firm believer. I don't believe in people getting tax breaks, especially like billionaires and like anyone like that, because like you actually like, I mean, granted, yeah, like it's a charity write-off. Like, oh, like even Chance the Rapper is a good example of a tax write-off, right? Like Chance the Rapper, like listen.
No. I'm happy you said that.
He donated, I believe, it was like $3 million to like the Chicago public school system, I believe, right? It was like a decent amount of money. It was
$5. I think.
He donated a portion of coloring book sales to save the Chicago public system and the music programs over there for that city, right?
Yeah.
So granted, noble deed, right? But also too, he's probably not going to pay taxes in the state of Chicago for the next 25 to 30 years, bro.
It's as long as that album's streaming.
Like, he's never gonna pay that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because of what he did. And like the thing is, like, all right, bro, like, even though you still did that, that's a great noble deed, bro. You live here. Like, you need to contribute to society.
Exactly.
You need to contribute to society.
Just like how that man wakes up at 7 a.m. to go at his job for 9:30
to 5 p.m. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same situation.
And he has to pay taxes more than you.
It's not fair.
He may not have the God-given talent or like whatever you got as a kid.
Or like even Jeff Bezos too. Like, bro, like a lot of people don't get a $250,000 business startup, bro. Like that. People don't get that. People just don't get that.
And a lot of,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, the chances of an average man getting that is pretty slim.
And especially a minority getting that too. Literally none. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to look up the rates of business loans given to black people and minorities to white people.
Yeah, yo, son, that Dominican dude the other day when he's like, "Yo, America is not racist, you're racist." Yo, I was like,
that man had hookah charcoal dust in his brain.
Yo, put the pack in the air. Put the pack in the air. Put the pack in the air. Put it up. Bro. Put the pack in the air. Put the pack in the air, brother.
Bro,
go ahead.
Nothing gets me more tight than when Dominicans try to act like, bro, when a cop stops you, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, this guy's Dominican. We can leave him alone." No, motherfucker, you brown, you black. Get out of here with your, "Oh, I know black, I Dominican ass motherfucker." Get the fuck out of it, bro. Oh my God, nothing gets me more tight than when Dominicans think they're excluded out of this shit. Especially white passing Dominicans. Oh, they're the worst, bro. I hate them. I hate them so much, bro. And I tend not to hate people. I tend not to hate people.
Nah, go ahead. Nah, it's cool to hate. Hate makes the world go round, baby.
But when that guy made that tweet where he was like, "Oh, have somebody been racist to you?" This, the other. And I'm like, bro, the world is racist.
Bro, we live
the world is being racist to you right now, and you don't even realize it.
Right. Think about it this way. Someone brought up a good theory, right? Just because it snows outside, right? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you're not affected by the snow of some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Whether you're home at the crib, or your ass gotta go to work. Guess what? There's still snow on the motherfucking ground. That's the same thing with racism, bro.
Nothing.
It's the same ideology.
And then when Dominicans try to be like, "Oh, ese moreno," which means all that dark skinned person or brown skinned person, bro, that same person is this color. The color of my case. Stop it.
But yeah,
stop it. Man,
it's just
I could go on and on and on for this.
But funny.
For the sake of the podcast, I'm gonna tone it down. But like, bro, like,
not to shit on Dominican, but like,
I love my people, but we're very poorly educated when it comes to race.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of people don't know the difference between race and ethnicity, and that's
right.
And nationality.
Go ahead, you're preaching right now, brother.
And like I understand, like, Dominicans are a mix of three things: Europeans, mainly Spaniards and French. The Taino Indians that were there, and the African slaves. But people have to remember that the reason Africans brought the island of Hispaniola was because the Europeans eradicated all of the natives. There were barely any natives left. So a lot of us don't have native blood in us. We have African and European. And a lot of us are my color or darker. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of Dominicans are also Haitian and don't know it. They have Haitian blood and they don't know it.
Because Rios is half Haitian. Did you know, like, before, like, Haiti helped to free Argentina, it was like Haiti
is the
first free black nation.
Yeah, like Haiti set the blueprint of what a revolution is in terms of what the Western Hemisphere is. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, all right, we fought this Europeanized society. We got rid of them and stuff like that. But like, Also, too, like Haiti is still facing the backlash of that to this day.
Haiti
You know
still
what I'm
has to
saying?
pay France. To
No,
this
no,
You know
day.
what I'm saying? Like
I think that's over though.
it's over. They don't have to
No,
pay. No,
it's over.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
No,
No,
yeah,
it's
it's
not
not
over.
over, bro.
No,
They
but
still have
I'm
to
saying
pay
no,
France.
they still got to pay. No, but I'm saying in terms of like, all right, like it's kind of like what the
That's
Saints did.
fucked up. I thought it was
Like,
over.
we got to like think about it like this. All right, like we like Haitians, right? Like, all right, like granted, we got our independence, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's great. Yes, people deserve to be free, but also too, like the backlash of it since then has been kind of fucked up. Like it's kind of like I don't want to compare it to sports, but like it's like the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like the Saints
It has every clue.
the Saints winning after Katrina. You know what I'm saying? Like that of epic proportion. They win the Super Bowl after Katrina, and then after that, their playoff losses have just been bad and just epic proportion. You know what I'm saying? So like Haiti is kind of like going through. It's been going through the same thing as the Saints in a sense. Granted, that was like I don't want to compare it to that. It's not
Yeah,
the
but it
same,
has a little
but
top.
like,
Layman's terms.
but like in
It's
layman's
never-
terms, it's like it's in terms of like we've had like leaders and stuff like that. Like, you know, like we've had the Clinton administration, you know what I'm saying, trying to like exploit and steal money from them, stuff like that. So like it's little things like that that have like set Haiti back in order for them to like, you know what I'm saying, kind of gain some sort of like economic and like a base of economics. Like Dominican Republic, for example, right? Like Dominican Republic has tourism as like an economic base, right? Like they rely on other countries that to come there to vacation there, right? Like Haiti really doesn't have that. Like granted, you could visit Haiti, there's resorts in Haiti, stuff like that, but like
Especially after
there's
the
not
earthquake.
right, like especially after the earthquake, right? Exactly. And Hurricane Maria, like Haiti still has not been able to recover from that because there was never a sense of base of economic establishment, you know what I'm saying, like economic establishment of how they get their money. So like when like when people talk like, oh, like I know black mean Dominican, like bro, like we're literally all fighting the same struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all in the same struggle. So like that tweet with like those tweets, but the thing is too, well, I give him credit for it, bro. Like listen, like he didn't delete the shit. He quadrupled the fuck down. He kept going. Kept going. So it's like it was just very ignorant and naive, but also it was just like.
And it's funny because his skin complexion is somewhere in between Rios and mine's.
Yeah, like
he brown
like,
too,
it's
bro.
crazy. Yeah, he brown.
Like,
he
you know what I didn't get? You know what I did get? Like women like was like, yeah, you was in my DM, you corny ass nigga. I'm like,
bro,
at this point, bro.
Homie must have snorted hookah dust, literally, to tweet something like that. And it pisses me off, man, because it's like it's always us at the forefront, bro. It's always the Dominicans at the forefront of this shit. Always. That's why when people like.
You just gotta say like Puerto Rican, stay low and keep building.
Bro, this is why,
we're terrible too. Puerto Ricans are terrible too.
Yeah, but Puerto Ricans are terrible.
We're terrible too. We have the same. No, we have the same mindset when it comes to like us, like not
it's
recognizing
not being
African American. Our yeah, like it's like all right. It's like this. It's like racism for it's like you know what I'm saying. It's like racism. It's all right. Like it's like that southern racism to northern racism. Like all right, like they'll call you a nigger to your face in the South. You feel me? Like they'll say it. You feel me? Whereas in the South they'll be like your lips are a little too big. I'm not too sure, or like you know, it's like little shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's subliminal. It's very. You know so racism.
This question, like when someone asks you, like if you're around if you're up, like not uptown, but like right near like 107 to like 63rd, they'd be like, "You live over here?" Like that's a racist ass question to ask someone.
Yeah, like you know. So it's just fucked up. Like us as a people, us as like an Afro Latino people, like we need to like be better in terms.
We have a lot of relearning.
We need to relearn, man. And I mean, granted, with DR, with Dominican Republic, I think it's conditioning. I think because of the Trujillo regime. That was like very like established in terms of like what race is and stuff like that, and how they were kicking out darker skinned people and like Haitians especially out of that country and killing them.
That man's grandmother was Haitian. And look what he did to the Haitian people.
So like so like it's rooted. It's just rooted in that. It's like it's preconditioned in that, So like, and Trujillo was in power for a long fucking time. So like, all that stems to that. So I just think us as an Afro-Latino people, we need to be better, and we need to recognize that, like those regimes, stuff like that took place, even like in Haiti, like the Papa Doc and Baby Doc regime, like those things were not good, and those things were like not good for our people as a whole. So until we until we get rid of like that notion and that like mindset, we'll never be free. We will never be free.
And like granted, yes, not all of us are of African ancestry. Like we know that. But we also have to understand that everywhere else in the world, outside of your own country, you're a minority. You come here, they're not going to treat you as a darling. They're not going to treat you like they treat white people. They're just not. They're not going to get out of their cars and be like, well, we don't have to stop and frisk him because he said he's Dominican. No, they're going to do the same shit to you. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, and like so that's why like go ahead. I'm sorry. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't even got the words, bro. This topic just gets me so fed up, bro.
Yeah, it's true, bro. It's like the anti-looting protest that happened in Texas early in the year, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, listen, like, we all go through the same struggle in terms of like dealing with the police. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're Dominican, Black, Puerto Rican, whatever, right? Like they all see you as what? A nigga. You feel me? So like it's just like tasteless. That's why we need to have these conversations, and we need to have like this dialogue, because like it's important. It's important for us to have. So that's why like me as a person, like granted, like I make fun of Dominicans, shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But like also too, like I have to understand that, listen, like the struggles that we go through are very similar in terms of like dealing with society and dealing with the police. So until like the older generation of Afro Latinos understand that, then I think we'll like actually like take a step forward. But until then, we're just not.
And that's why, like, when the Dominican slander comes up on Twitter, as upset as it gets me, I'm like, damn, man, like, really, again, like, I want to defend my people, but it's like, you're a dumbass one for making that tweet, like, and then that's why a lot of I continue with the slander. I go ahead with the slander as well, because you're a real dickhead for thinking that way. You're a real dickhead for posting it on Twitter. And it's like, bro, like the world doesn't work that way. It just fucking doesn't. So, and until then, my people are gonna get slandered, and I guess I'm here for it, because you're being a real dickhead. It is what it is. It is what it is, bro.
Sometimes it's facts. You're not lying, bro. You're not lying, man.
When you make a tweet like that, you're looking for the slander.
Yeah.
But that ratio was, but that to end it off though, and to end episode, bro, that might have been the worst ratio tweets I've ever seen in my life on Twitter. And I've been on Twitter since the app even like fucking started, damn near basically, bro. That might have been the worst. Like I've said, all right, like listen, like I remember when
it's coming from two guys that we're really out there in the Twitter streets.
That was one of the worst ratio tweets I've ever seen, bro. When you have only one retweet, but sometimes too, like I'll be saying, bro, I'll be retweeting some shit, but like I'll be telling Mo, bro, all retweets are not endorsements, bro. Sometimes I will retweet your shit, bro, just to throw you to the fucking wolves. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be telling people, I tell one of my homies, like my homie Alt today, I was like, niggas that tweet to like go viral, just know the tweet that you think nobody's looking at is the one that's gonna fuck you up in the future.
That's like the Danny Lay with that Yellow Bone video.
Oh,
she had more.
Man.
Remember Sabrina?
She had more quote retweets than actual retweets, and it was all slander.
Remember Sabrina Claudia? Sabrina Claudia? Mm-hmm. They dug up all her old tweets and they fucking buried her. Now it's like no one is even checking for that young girl. So I
remember when
I'm gonna just press that button, and if it turns green and I see Rios find it or J Bobby or anyone in the homies find it, I'm gonna do that Kobe gif and just like
I remember when Sir's last album came out. I can't remember I think that might have been a Joe Budden podcast interview. He came on and we're asking him like, "Yo, like, what's up with the feature? I know you saw the tweets," and he was like, "That song was made way before I ever thought this album was gonna be made. Like before those tweets got dug up. Like you said, that song was like 3 years old." Yeah, he has on Catching Summers. He has a feature with Sabrina Claudio, and that song was made 3 years before that album was made. And I'm like, when I saw her, like, it's a good song, but when I saw her name on the album, I was like, "Are you dead ass right now, my guy? Like, this who you making music with?" But then when he gave context to it, I was like, I guess I can't be mad at it. If it fit the album, it fit the album. And if you made it 3 years ago before those tweets came out,
yeah, I'm in that position. I'm not explaining anything because no matter what I say, nobody's gonna believe me. So, like, I could be like, "Yeah, I recorded that song 2 years ago." Like, to this day, the most infamous song Biggie ever made, "Who Shot You," right? "Quote unquote" recorded way before Tupac.
He said it's not for Pac.
But people to this day think that song is about Tupac. So it's like at this
point, it's too coincidental. It's too
It's
coincidental.
like, once you make art or whatever, like you make, once you put it out, it's no longer your judgment. It's
exactly. Right. It's it's true.
So no matter what, you can pull that track away, you can pull whatever you want, but it's no longer it's still your track, but it's no longer your decision to tell people what this track is about. So it's like sometimes, bro, the best, like we say, Rios, sometimes just shut the fuck up and just keep it moving, bro. Like,
it's facts.
Yeah,
but to go on some, just want to segue into another topic, just to get things into a lighter note. There was something I wanted Rios to say in we were supposed to record last week, but we didn't. There was something that Rios brought up in the chat, and he wanted to explain the James Harden trade. So I'm gonna give you the floor as the Global Nets ambassador.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, the TL's putting me in the pack right now because the Nets lost today. So like, I'm in the TL really they smoking my ass right now, bro. But yeah, man, James Harden. James Harden's a net, bro. It's
not a bad trade in hindsight.
No, it's really not. But like
But you wanted to explain the trade, and you wanted to explain the trade swaps, and the pick swaps,
so like,
the money involved.
Right. So I know you guys were talking about like the trade or whatever. This is the last episode. So like now, like the pick swaps, people were confused about like the pick swaps, right? So put it to you this way: it's like, all right, now, granted, like they got the 2022 and the 2024 picks from the Nets, right? So obviously the 2022 pick is going to be a low pick because the Nets are going to be contending, right? And maybe 2020. So like that pick is going to be probably like from 25 to 30.
But the next two drafts are supposed to be like very, very good.
Right.
Regardless of where that pick lands.
Right. Regardless where that pick lands. Right. So the one that I'm really worried about is the 2026 one. Because I feel like the Nets might be in rebuild mode and we're not going to get that pick again. So it might be a whole 2014 effect. But it's not going to be, people are saying that, they really went KG, like that whole case. But the difference is, all right, listen. James Harden's 30. KD's 31 and Kyrie's 28. So like it ain't AARP-esque Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Jason Terry or whatever the case may be. Like, no, like that's not happening for the Nets. You know what I'm saying?
Real quickly,
like, no.
How upset were you that Paul Pierce didn't produce for Brooklyn, but he produced for Washington?
I wasn't upset. I mean, like, I just think that the system, like the Nets around that time, were like just like they were still trying to find themselves, and I feel like they were trying to compete with the Knicks around the time because that was around the time the Knicks were really good. And like the Knicks were like that was Knicks tape era. You feel me? Like that was like the Knicks won 55 games. They went to the semis, stuff like that. Like the city was the Knicks.
The Nets still have more playoff success than them during that time, which is crazy.
Right, right. But like also too, like we were competing for like the crown of New York, you know? So like we had to make a splash. And granted, we signed a deal with the devil, and if I see Billy King on the street, I really got to punch him in the face. You know what I'm saying? Because like we really missed out on Dame Lillard and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So like we could have had those three guys could have been on the team. So it's like it's not, but people are comparing it to that trade, but it's really not the same at all. You know, like we have possibly two of the greatest isolation scorers. All right, honestly, let's be real here.
Three
No,
of the best.
No. We have two MVPs on one roster, an NBA Finals champion, right? So pretty much they did a collective of it, right? So it's like it's between the three of them, it's 35,000 points scored between three players, whole bunch of all-star.
Kareem.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. So like I just think that around that time, you know, like especially back in 2014 compared to now, you know, the Knicks were just, you know, they were trying to figure out that next step on how to be a true finals contender. And like think the Nets were just like, all right, fuck it now. Like we're gonna do this now.
Yeah,
here it is. We're gonna thug it out. And we'll try let's let the chips fall where they may. But in this case, when a trade goes down, my theory is whoever gets the best player wins the trade no matter what. The Nets got the best player in the trade. So it is what it is at this point. I feel like now they're still learning how to gel with each other. Like obviously there's gonna be growing pains with the three. So pretty much like granted, like KD and Kyrie didn't play that much. They didn't play at all together last year, right? And you know, Kyrie had a small
two to 3 years with KD. So
right. So like Kyrie had a small sample size last year before he got hurt. Kyrie only played 10, 15 games last year, right? So there's a small sample size of like KD and Kyrie being on the court, Kyrie actually being on the court, and then now you add James Harden, who commands and does so much on the basketball court that they have to still get it together. And plus, you have to add it to the fact that there's a new coach there too. True. So like, the
person that's better than that coaching is James right now.
Right. And like because he has D'Antoni there. So like it's basically he knows.
And Nash is pretty much doing the same system.
Right. It's the same system. Yep. It's the same system. So it's just a matter of those players being able to adjust to those three players.
Shout out to Steve Nash for fucking up Trey Young pack. Yeah.
I don't know. Trey Young, the last two games, he
had a bad 2 weeks.
No, he had terrible.
He had a terrible 2 weeks, bro.
Nash made the call. He said, "Yo, I won 2 MVPs. I arguably have one of the best point guard season an MVP ever had. I never did.
Mine is Steph Curry.
Yeah,
but like." It's the equivalent. What that situation was like. I don't like J. Cole, but like that's literally let Nas down in the form of in basketball form. Like let Nas down is what motherfucking Steve Nash. Because think about it, bro. Like, all right, that was his favorite player.
Arguably one of the best to ever do.
Bro, imagine, bro. Like, because the thing is too, like. Imagine your favorite player. Like, bro, I look at it this way, bro. Like, if I'm in the NBA, right, and I'm playing against the Lakers, and I'm playing whatever, and then Jason Kidd goes, "Yo, he's not this is not basketball." That would fuck me up.
Yeah,
that would fuck me up, man.
Bro, no
so,
lie.
Like,
but you know the problem I had with Steve Nash's comments is that.
it made sense.
The
thing is, but he said it out of. But the thing is, like, he said it out of frustration during the game.
Yeah, it's like I get it. Like, I understand, like, how frustrating that must be. But the point of the game is to win. And what you're gonna do everything, even if you're gonna exploit shit.
That's why
the rules to play.
That's why I never understood why people were mad at James Harden for shooting 15 free throws a game.
Like, because my thing was crazy. Right. Now, one of your guys, one of your best players, plays the same way as Trae Young. He does the same shit.
That's why. And my thing is too. It's so funny too because like with most like James Harden, for example, right? Like me and Mo about to say, me and Mo about to preach to the choir right now, right? James Harden gets slandered for the same exact shit Dwayne Wade used to do.
Exactly.
The same exact thing.
Basically.
So
the point of the game is to win, and if you have to exploit the rules of the game to win, you're gonna do it.
But also too, like with
a lot of free throws.
But what also too with James Harden is the fact that like basketball now has like emphasized analytics, right? So like James Harden to me is he's the first true analytics baby in basketball, right? It's not the splat. Like, all right, listen, like the Warriors were the first team that emphasized analytics in like their style of play, right? So it was a lot as a team. So like, but what they shot a lot of threes, right? But the most underrated part about the Warriors was their the 2-pointers they took, they were very efficient at those. So like, even if they weren't shooting well from three that particular game, they were still beating.
David West.
They were beating you, right? And then they had Draymond, right? They were beating you in the interior. Pause, right? So but like with Harden and like the Daryl Morey system with the Rockets for like I'd say that lasted about 4 years, right? We could say about 4 years. Daryl Morey and James Harden. That was like an 8-year marriage, but like I'm talking in terms of like the analytics coming in to play with that. That was like about a good 4 or 5 years, right?
I just never understood why people.
So when you have like when you're exploiting, the system, like he's the first analytics baby of basketball in terms of like, listen.
Yeah, he's the first analytics individual,
like individual player, meaning like, all right, like we're gonna cater our whole team and style of play to how this man plays basketball. We've never ever seen that ever in the game of basketball. Not even Michael Jordan, not even Kobe Bryant, not even fucking none of those guys, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like James Harden was the first guy, whereas all right, like listen, like with the Kevin McHale era, right? It was James Harden was like a traditional shooting guard, right? In terms of like him him playing off the ball, him coming off flare screens and pin downs, and him running, you know what I'm saying? Like
which I would love for him to go back to.
Right. But the thing is that the best part about James Harden game to me, I don't give a fuck that he can score 40 fucking points a game. The fact that it matters, he's one of the best passers in basketball, period, that we've ever seen. To me, James Harden is one of the greatest pick and roll players and passers that we've ever seen. Like he's up there with John Stockton in my eyes in terms of how effective he is.
I've never seen such a pudgy dude slither his way through the court.
Right. And also, too, the level of efficiency, too, right? Like, it's not like he's just chucking shots and missing them. That's what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? But also, too, like, bro, the guy shoots 40% from three, and he shoots 50% from the field, and he shoots 90%.
That's what people fail to realize, too. Is that,
like how efficient he is. But, like, also, too,
funny?
Like,
his size up breakdown isn't even all that crazy. It's super simple.
It's like I always say, it's just all about manipulating the game, bro.
Right.
Like basketball is a game at the end of the day. And it's like you play any game, if you can find something that you can
that you could exploit.
Yeah.
Who was another one of like you guys mentioned Dwayne Wade. LeBron was also one of the forefathers of manipulating the game.
Yeah. And that's what makes him great. That's what makes
that's what makes every great athlete great, no matter what sport you play.
Bro,
like mine is like baseball, all right, like baseball's different in terms of like because baseball is an individualized team game because you have hitter versus batter, and then like that's a battle in itself, right? And then you have the team success because like put it to you this way, like in baseball, if one guy's not hitting, that could fuck up your whole team. That could fuck up everything, right? So like
Yankees, nobody hits except for DJ
right.
LeMahieu.
Relax. 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 But in terms of like football, right? Like Tom Brady, for example, right? Like think about it this way: like
Aaron Rodgers' biggest manipulation, right? Is on flag. Is on a flag play, right?
The free play. He's the greatest to me. He's the greatest free play quarterback of all time. Meaning in terms of like, all right,
Manning really manipulate that aspect of the game. Where now defensive players now they have to be on high alert every time the snap happens. Back then, a quarterback can snap the ball and they could not they could not care because you're running the ball. But now the league is so pass happy that you have to be on your P's and Q's. And that's why Aaron Rodgers is so great. He may not win the most championship, but the level of like
intelligence that he has and alertness that he has is phenomenal. Even Tom Brady, for example, too.
And it's like to me, I always say like Aaron Rodgers is like to say like basketball is either like he's like I don't want to say he's Harden because like Harden is one of the greatest like basketball players in the league, but he isn't as polarizing
ever.
Yeah. See, I didn't want to say that because like people like to say you be sucking Harden dick so much, but it's
no. We need to be real when it comes to James Harden, bro. He's one of the greatest shooting guards to ever play basketball.
And that's what I need people to realize. All those niggas that's in the Hall of Fame did not play defense. Like we need to stop using like, oh, this person is a great scorer, but not a great defender. There's a lot of
people who say James Harden doesn't play defense are casuals because James Harden plays defense. Bro, he may not be Avery Bradley. He may not be Kobe. He may not be Tony Allen. He may not be Jaylen Brown in terms of like defense. But James Harden can play defense.
Bro, to be real, as good as Michael Jordan is on defense, he wasn't guarding the best player night in and night out.
Right? So, and like also too, it's like Steph Curry, for example, too, right? Like they say Steph Curry, like people say like, oh, Steph Curry's food on defense, but like the thing is, bro, like. He's a good team defender. So like if you're a good team defender, then you're a good defender. Like that's just what it comes down to. I don't want to use me as an example. Like Mo could attest to this. I wasn't the best. Even Mo used to watch my games in college. I wasn't the best man-to-man defender. I fucking sucked at that shit because I was too small. But in terms of like jumping passing lanes and shit like that, I was fucking amazing at that because I was able to scheme myself into like.
It's like when I tell people like,
is not a man-to-man defender, right? But if you play the team-oriented defense at the Lakers, that Frank Vogel has really like manipulated to this point of his career, and when he made millions of dollars off of this, making this high press in soft zones like on his defense. Like Rondo benefit from that last year because I don't have to guard the best ball handler because all we're gonna do is switch.
Right, and right, exactly. And the thing with defense and that,
like, for example, Hassan Whiteside. I slander Hassan Whiteside because he's a terrible one-on-one defender, but there's different aspects to defending. Just like you said, you're not the greatest man-on-man, but team defense in terms of cutting the passing lanes, you're pretty good at that. Yeah. Hassan Whiteside is good at coming out of nowhere and blocking your shot, which is why he's able to lead the league.
He's a good weak side defender.
But as a one-on-one, he's food.
For instance, Kawhi Leonard would not be the great player he is today if he didn't focus more on his offensive game. Because if Kawhi was the way how he was in San Antonio now, he would not be able to carry the Clippers the way how he carried them now. Because you have to sacrifice that aspect that you were, quote unquote, great at to be that other side. Because, it's cool to lock up a nigga and have 20 points. But if my other teammate go off of your bum ass power forward, you still lose. So you stop me scoring 20, and my power forward has a nice 23 and 12, and we win by 10. What does he do? I feel like basketball on the defensive aspect should not be a one-on-one thing. Like it's always going to be teamwork.
Not. It's always teamwork. Like listen, like I called the 2015 Warriors the greatest basketball team of all time. They were the best team. One, obviously they had the best team offense, but also two, they had the best team defense.
Yeah. Like nobody did was like a bona fide lockup star. I mean, Draymond.
Clay is one of the best two-way players in basketball. When healthy.
But like I'm not
Draymond is a great defender in his own right as well in terms of like how they.
I don't know how many people have noticed, but Draymond's evolution defensively from a great one-on-one defender to a great team defender as he's gotten older. It's amazing. I was just watching a few videos of Draymond the other day,
bro.
And they explain how the way he moves around and the way he manipulates. So let's say I'm guarding somebody off the ball, right? The way he manipulates the on-ball defender to think that he's not going to cut him off, it's amazing. Because you stop defending your man, you make one simple half step to make him think that you're going to cut him off. Now you fucking up the ball handler.
Right.
That's amazing.
It's gonna be it's gonna be like a rarity to get a dude like Anthony Davis. Like dudes like Anthony Davis don't come around on the regular.
Right. Even because Anthony Davis
we guard every position.
Like the Lakers. What made the Lakers so great last year was that there's only two ways you could beat the Lakers, bro. You got to beat them in transition, and you just got to shoot, and you just got to make your threes.
And you gotta also make that. You also have to see if they're going to be able to score because you can still do all of that. But if they're still scoring on you, all it takes is them string
right. Because even LeBron, for example, right? Like LeBron was like
a defender.
Even like growing up, like we remember chase down block Bron, locking up. To me, I think Bron got screwed of Defensive Player of the Year in 2011. Like I felt like that was his best.
No, he should have won.
He should have won. He should have won it. Honestly, Bron should have swept
2011.
In 2011.
No, didn't Marcus Gasol win it in 13?
No, but he should have won 2011 also.
Should have won 2011 also. That was his best defensive year.
Because that was the year he was literally guarding. Because nobody remembers that 2011 season he guarded Pau Gasol in his prime when they played against the Lakers. Both games he guarded Pau Gasol because he wasn't cooking Bosh. He was just too much for Bosh at that time. And that's when Eric Spoelstra put LeBron on Pau Gasol. Like they didn't put him to guard Kobe. They put him to guard Pau Gasol. So he played his best defensive season that year. Like the Marcus Gasol year, he deserved to sweep that year too. But 2011, I felt like
that was his best defensive year.
If he didn't win MVP, at least give him Defensive Player of the Year because he played great defense that year. And that's a year that people forget because that was the anti-LeBron years.
Right. And the thing is with team defense and with LeBron, now LeBron's not that great of a man-to-man defender now, but also too Bron in the team scheme of defense is amazing because he can guard.
I can't wait till Giannis
all 5 positions. He can guard all 5 positions, right? When you have 2 guys that can guard all 5 positions,
it's kind of difficult.
It kills your offensive scheme because there's no guy that's food on the switch. So now when you have AD coming off a switch, off a hedge, and you're a guard, it's like, I can't fuck with him now.
And it's not
minus Steph Curry. Steph Curry fucking be torching Anthony Davis on switches. It'd be comical it's funny sometimes to watch that shit. That's how good of a player Steph Curry is.
And what's so special about that Lakers team is that not only do you have 2 guys who can defend all 5 positions, you have a guy although Marcus Gasol is old at this point, who's a year away from retiring, you never lose your defensive instincts. You never lose communication.
Last night in Milwaukee,
Markieff is out of Morris, both Morris twins. Markieff is the better defender, and people don't like to admit that. People think because Marcus is able to score that he's the better of Markieff is the better defender of the 2. You have another guy like that. You have Kuzma, who's when he played great defense against Milwaukee the other night. When he's on, he's on.
Man. Kuzma's
when Kuzma's on, he's on. When
Kuzma
Kuzma's
stinks,
on,
man.
he's on, bro. Like
Nah, you can't.
when he's on, he's on. I like to give him his
Kuzma
foul
stinks,
because
bro.
when he's on, he's on.
You can't change Rios.
Montrezl
Kuzma
Harrell
stinks.
Montrez isn't the greatest defender, but he's a mobile
He's
guy.
not. Yeah,
Nah,
right. Exactly.
But
Like,
he's a
yeah,
mobile
like
guy.
he's
That's-
active. He's active. He's
He's
active.
active. That's what
He's
you want.
active.
If you're not great
Right.
defensively, that's what you want. Somebody who's gonna try. So I mean, who else is on that team? Caruso has shown flashes of great defense from time to time.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is. I forgot who else is on that damn team.
but you just have to have a
Like even
KCP.
even last year, like exactly. KCP's been shooting his KCP off the ankle monitor. I'm gonna do a analytics report on
Imagine
KCP.
if you got to play with LeBron, all them corner threes you would be hitting.
Forget it, man. Forget it, dude. I wish, that's one player I wish, like,
Rios could really shoot. I saw
like, listen,
Rios.
like, one thing, bro.
I'm not talking about the casual, like Mark Price type of threes. Like he can.
Now
really
we gonna do some runs when is.
Nah, definitely not. When shit gets back to normal, but the thing is, like, because people ask me, like, like if you like, because I played, so people ask me like, like who, if you were an NBA player, who would you rather play with, KD or Bron? And I'm like, bro, Bron. Like it's not even close. If all I gotta do is just hit corner threes all fucking game, and make think about it.
Bro, Kyle Korver, Ray Allen, Mike Miller, Shane Battier,
Sasha Pavlovich.
What?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dude, I could easily I would, if I play with Bron right now, give me I would have to put, all right, well, it'll take me 2.5, maybe 3 weeks to get my body into like fully in basketball shape. And like I'm playing with Bron just off driving kicks. Bro, just off driving kicks. I'm scoring at least 9 points. At least 9. At least 9.
You can play with Luka too. Luka driving kick is crazy too.
I can play with Luka too. Yeah. Like I think like in terms of like the way that like those like all right, like Luka and Bron and Harden, like those guys to me are in a separate class of their own because how they impact the whole team as a whole. Impact the team as a whole. So
I like that because like you game plan for the team, but you also game plan for them.
Like you have to game plan for them because like they're so good. Their IQ is just so far above everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like
I need to see Luka play live, man.
It's beautiful, bro. It's so.
I saw Jokic play live against the Nets. It was beautiful, but I really want to see Luka play.
I saw rookie year Luka when he was on. I was Dirk's farewell tour. I went to Dirk's one of my favorite players ever, so I had to go see Dirk before like he retired. So I saw Luka, and I'm like, Luka doesn't look at the first option right away. Like he does not do that. He looks at the second and third option before he looks at the first one. Because like when you play basketball at a high level, like especially like watching from a guard perspective, like you see how sets develop and like you see where this is where they're gonna run the play for. This is the first option because the screen comes this way first, so they're gonna get it first.
As great as Kobe is, as great as a passer Kobe is, he only looks at his first option. He never looks at any other option.
Like with LeBron, what I loved about LeBron so much was that Bron would like look away the first guy, but then like he still be there, but like also too like they'll run a screen and roll with like Bron and Ogauskas. This is when Bron was in the Cavs, and like Boobie Gibson's in the corner just chilling, and like you see it develop, and all of a sudden the ball just swings there to him.
Like
and
you know,
Eric Gordon
what's crazy about those type of LeBron teams is that they were run the play over and over
and over
and over and over and over and over and over. You just can't beat that.
Right. And like it's
like Harden when he first got Eric Gordon, like Eric Gordon wasn't his first option. Like Harden always looked off Eric Gordon, but he just knew he will always be open. So like once he commanded a double team, Eric Gordon is going to get the rock. Yeah.
Yo, and I want to make a point about Luka. I think what another thing that's so special about him is that
he's not athletic.
With the way he's not athletic, but and that goes into my point. The way the game is played is at such a high pace, and he slows the game down. he slows it down, lets the play develop, and
like,
a lot of teams aren't used to that. A lot of teams are used to what the Warriors brought, where
Luka,
it's like kill.
Nah, but he's a basketball anomaly because like of what he was able to do in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like he has that. To me, like Luka, he's he's Ginobili before he got he's Ginobili in terms of like all right, like
Ginobili with 20 shots.
Right. In terms of like when he was young too. Like Ginobili when he was in Euro, Ginobili's one of the greatest Eurobasket players of all time, right?
Yeah.
And like when they compare Ginobili to Luka, it makes sense because if you look at like Ginobili's game when he was early Spurs, we're talking long hair, this Ginobili. You know what I'm saying? We're talking long,
no facial hair Ginobili.
Right, no facial hair Ginobili, right? When that era Ginobili was out, right? He was basically the point guard. It wasn't Tony Parker that was handling the ball down the stretch. It was Ginobili.
OKC. Harden would be the point
right.
guard when him and Westbrook.
Right. So like it's the same thing in terms of like his basketball mind. So like when you have guys that are just so in tune with their basketball mind, it makes playing with them easier. So like that's why Tim Hardaway Jr. and shit like that, like that's why he averages 15 points per game because fucking he gets open looks. And like that's why a guy like Max Kleber, the German boy, he averages double because he knows how to run the pick and roll with Luka. And then granted, KP is KP. He's his own. KP's a dog in his own right, and he's a great player in his own right. You know,
I love KP, bro. I just wish he wasn't so hurt, man.
No, but like him and Luka work out because you know why? Like they actually understand the game. They understand the game. So like that's what it comes down to. Like so like when like people slander like Luka because he's not athletic. Only thing Luka needs is a jump shot. That's the only thing that's the only knock on Luka that he doesn't have.
I just feel like he just needs to just play. Like sometimes he needs to play a little bit more faster. Like just
my thing is like his jump shot isn't there yet. But also too, Luka's only 20 years old. He's only 21 years old, and like you don't get like your jumper. Like
he's an MVP candidate since he got to the league.
Right. So like it's crazy how much of a basketball anomaly he is. So like when people like guys like Luka and like Jokic we need to appreciate
Jokic, man. He's having triple double as a center. The last center average a triple double was Wilt Chamberlain.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we need to like appreciate his game. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy about Luka? All he really needs to do is shoot about 34 to 35% from the three.
That's it.
Just like Jokic. He doesn't need to do anything over that.
Exactly.
Because at that point you become respectable. So
exactly.
But it's so hard to sag off of Luka because he has hit a lot of big shots in his career.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, the thing with Luka, you can't sag. I mean, granted, his 3-point percentage is ass. He's shooting 25% from three right now, but like
you can't sag off, but you also can't play him close because that step back is deadly, man.
And also too, like if you give him time, he's gonna pick you apart, making the passes. So like you can't do that. That's why I can't wait for Luka like to fully develop his jump shot because it's going to be curtains for the league. It's going to be curtains for the league when he gets a jump shot. It's gonna be, it's gonna be Larry Bird all over again. It's gonna be Larry Bird 2.0 all over again once he gets a jump shot. That's exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be, for real. Because people think, Larry Bird was like this. Larry Bird was an elite marksman, but also too the most underrated part about Larry Bird was what? His passing and his rebounding.
Yeah.
So like it's the same situation with Luka. So I'm excited to see the league. NBA is in fucking great hands.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
Next generation of basketball players.
Fuck Shaquille O'Neal and fuck Charles Barkley.
Yo, I wanted to bring that up.
Bunch of hating ass motherfuckers.
Yo, that was gonna be my next. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Shaq. He's in my top 10. One of the best ever.
That old school tough love shit was so whack, bro.
Like
that was so whack,
bro. Not because you grew up in a time where like people were stern on you that makes you have to be stern on people. Evolution is a thing. The way how people go about things is different. It's like back in the days, you could have said a very harsh thing to someone and they may not react the way it is because that was the norm. But time you you move forward. Time is you progress in time. So like you telling, like last night telling Donovan Mitchell, like, yo, you're one of my favorite players, but I don't think you got it in you. Like
no, he said no. What he said was because it started during halftime. So like he said how Mitchell isn't the best, shouldn't be your best player, right, on your team. He said how Mitchell should be the second option on a team or a third option on a team, right? Because he's not that. Because no, Mitchell's a scorer. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. You feel me? Like he's not that good of a passer. Yeah. Like that. Like that's just not his. Like he's not that good of a
consistent shooter. I get it. But...
Right. Yeah. So like that's the most part. Like that's the part that they were trying to get at.
To save Mitchell a little bit, every year he has become a better playmaker. I'll give him that.
No, he has. No, yeah. And the numbers prove that. And the numbers prove that too. Like you can't argue about that with the numbers. Like his assist numbers have gone up and his rebound numbers have gone up each year. So like that's not the issue at hand. The issue at hand is like a sense of it's like hating a little bit because like it's like all right, like even he did it with Kevin Durant. Like Charles Barkley did it with Kevin Durant too. You know, like those guys, I feel like, granted, just because like they have the accolades and stuff like that. Like, granted, I think Charles Barkley, minus James Harden, I think is the greatest player to never win to never win an NBA championship.
Yo, honestly, bro. So I know everybody say Allen Iverson, but if Harden never wins a ring, it's
Harden. Yeah. So like, so those to me, it's 1A and 1B in terms of like that aspect of like guys who never won a championship that are great in their own right. So like, and it's crazy because like those guys really are NBA are casual fans. It's not like us where like we know Christian, like bro, like Shaq didn't even know who Christian Wood is. Yeah. But we know who Christian Wood is and what he brings to a basketball team. So like it becomes like, dude, like, are you really watching the games or not?
But then I know like a lot of people use this like, yo, Shaq says like, yo, run down the paint, lift your hands up, get the ball, you'll automatically scores, right? But that style of basketball don't work.
Doesn't exist anymore. Yeah,
all I have to do if you're gonna keep doing that after your third time, I'm just gonna put a whole fucking wall there.
Just gonna double you, yeah.
And if you score, you score, but you're not gonna score that quickly. So it's like,
and the thing is too, like. It's crazy too because Shaq would be obsolete in today's NBA in terms of like he can't shoot. But I wouldn't say that. I mean, granted, I think players back then would adjust to like the style of play now. So like it's whatever. But like
I say mostly like if you just base it on guys from back in the day, I feel like the hybrid forwards like the KGs that came in like the late 90s, I feel like they would flourish in this era more because everybody forgets that, like, when Kevin Garnett was drafted, he wasn't drafted as a power forward. He was drafted as a
small forward.
Yeah, he was able to dribble. I think he would have got more free run because
McHale. Yeah, he didn't become a power forward until the second year.
Yeah, I feel like if he got drafted, how he got drafted in '95 now, and McHale was a coach, I think McHale would have forced him to play the 3 and not let him go to the 4 because we're now in the age of positionless basketball, and I think that's the problem with these older guys is that like the NBA they once loved is that like they like guys that are specialists. It's like if you go back in the day, for instance, the 2001 Lakers, which is at first it was for many years I had it as the greatest basketball team ever. But you know, as time passed, like other teams are better than the 01 Lakers. So like, but if you look at that team, Shaq was the number 1 option. Kobe was number 2. Rick Fox was the 3. No, it wasn't even really a 3-and-D guy. He was just like there to just disrupt things. Robert Horry was there just to get like the long rebounds. Derek Fisher was there just for open. So it's like those guys from those eras were specialists, and now in today's game, you got to do more than
you got to do multiple things, and you got to do multiple things very well.
As much as we hate Chris Webber for him announcing the game, he's one of the only dudes that acknowledge that, like, yo, the basketball I played is not the basketball today, so I'm not gonna hate on that. And that's also right. Out of all the dudes I thought that would hate on this generation, I thought Kevin Garnett would be the biggest hater, but he's not. He actually likes today basketball because everyone is able to do everything. And I just don't like when Shaq and Chuck, like, even though they have accolades, like they're so stuck in that way that they were taught like, yo,
and the thing is too, like even Charles Barkley would flourish in today's NBA because like, bro,
he would be a positionless player.
Player, right? Like,
so it's like,
think about
bro, it. I get it. Players today are much faster than you. They're much faster. They're gonna be much smarter. They're gonna take care of themselves.
Right. It's what it is. I feel like because like they shit on AAU basketball, right? So like basketball is trending into like that style of play because like it takes a while to develop a post game. It takes like people don't understand like developing a post game that takes years and years and years and years and years and years and years of development, right? AAU coaches don't have time for that. You literally have to like you got a game in a week. You got 8 games in a weekend. So like you have to get ready for those 8 games in the weekend. So like you gotta like and basically
your boy is Rona free. Your boy is Rona free.
Let's go, man.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I can't wait for Rios to get out. We definitely gonna grab Rios a beer. We might stop at a little quick to go, grab him a beer. Know what I mean?
No, we gotta end the show on that, bro. You being Rona free. We gotta end the show on that, man. We gotta end the show on that.
Right. This is our longest episode in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, Rios, I'm happy to have you here. You're always welcome.
We do Super Slimey episode coming soon, by the way.
Yeah, I'm down with
that. For sure.
It's a must.
You guys, peace, love. Episode 48 of Overfood Podcast.
Congratulations once again, Brent. We love you, baby.
Love you,
Congratulations, my brother. Biracial, I want to suck your feet.